We will be talking Derbyshire versus Lancashire Lightning this evening. Play to commence at 7 o'clock. The toss will be live with you in about 7 minutes' time with the captain, Nye Donald, and Dave Fletcher will be talking to him. But first, world at your feet, embrace. Thanks, Nige.
Right, tossing down here
then. We'll do trail. When does this finish?
Come a bit further this way.
That's fine. You can walk. It's all right. If you tell me about where you can get to.
Yep. So we'll do trail, and then we're ready for when the toss is happening. I can just talk, and we'll bring Greg in as well. Oh, he's made changes. Saka on and Gordon on, Rashford off.
Division match.
Madueke.
Oh. Division's got the good umpires, so you can't get there because of the.
Touch your feet, there's no one you could be. Just apart from Congo.
Your co-op.
Our co-op.
50 over cricket, that is. He's going to
really well. And it just shows how good he is. Obviously, England's all-time leading red ball wicket taker, but it just shows that if you do the same things in every format, then it'll work, and it would be really good for everyone to watch him.
Well, it is time for the cricket tonight here at the County Ground. Derbyshire fielding and bowling first tonight as they take on Lancashire Lightning in the T20 Blast. Every single match really matters now for the Falcons and Mickey Arthur's side. Nye Donald has got them set up unchanged. Let's hand over to your commentary team of every single ball tonight. Greg Cork alongside Dave Fletcher.
Thank you very much, Tom. The match. The other match has been taken off the big screen away to our right-hand side, and it wasn't greeted with boos, interestingly. Perhaps it would have been if England hadn't got that second goal through Harry Kane. No, Harry came here. I had to sort of say it because everywhere I go, people say, "Oh, Harry Kane's played," but yeah, very good. It's going to be Matthew Montgomery to bowl the first delivery of the match. 7 o'clock start here to allow people to watch the vast majority of the England against DR Congo match. And he's just tossing himself a couple of catches. It looks like Michael Jones, indeed it is Michael Jones on strike for the first delivery. He's bowling from the city end. And here we go. Music stops. Merciful release on Montgomery is in, bowls a short-ish flat one, and it's fielded there round the corner by Akif Jabed, fielding out a short, fine leg. 2 men out on the boundary. Nick Potts not wearing the elbow protectors, which is slightly disappointing because it makes him easier to spot. He's out there at mid-wicket, and it's Ross Whiteley down at long on as Montgomery's into Jones again. That one's turned into the leg side, goes beyond Bin Naeem, and is picked up by Potts coming in off the boundary in Lancashire. Are on their way, one without loss. Good evening, Greg Cook.
Good evening. Good evening.
Once this last minute of stoppage time has gone and England have won, we can concentrate fully on the cricket. But I've got one eye on the screen in front of me and one eye on the screen just to my right, which is the scoreboard. Big game for both sides. Derbyshire won the toss, decided they would have a bowl first, and Montgomery is in. And that one is pushed back towards Montgomery, who feels off his own bowling. Let's have some effects, so we can hear what's happening in the outside world. Here's Montgomery again. Bowls, played straight back to him, fields it one-handed in the follow-through. Nicely done. Ben Aitchison warming up at a fine leg. Floodlights on. Sun has disappeared now, but it's still a very warm evening. There was a bit of rain earlier on. And England are defending a free kick as that one is pushed out by Jennings to Madsen. At extra cover. Now, I've never commentated on 2 different games before.
Really testing you out, isn't this, Fletch?
No, it's a piece of cake, this. Montgomery bowls, and that's pushed up towards long off by Keaton Jennings. Final ball of the over, 2 from it. And Lancashire 2. Without loss. Decent start from Matthew Montgomery.
Not too bad. I think, Fletch, if Derbyshire unfortunately get on the wrong side of the results tonight and next couple of games, how many games do you give the other guys a go? How many games? 2 or 3 games, do you reckon you change it up a little bit?
I think you change it after tonight. Well, Harry Kane definitely gets a go from him. He's got two centuries for the seconds this season. You can do no more than score the runs that you're asked to score in the second team, can you really? England have finally won the game. A little fist pump there from Harry Kane. So England have beaten DR Congo by 2-0. They've done something that they haven't done since the... I didn't hear the stat properly done. That's why I looked confused before. They've done something that they haven't done since 1966 in the World Cup final and come from behind at a World Cup knockout.
Well, they've conceded the first goal from behind to win.
Just for the
first time in 60 years.
Oh, yeah, okay. Jennings picks up a single, incidentally. It's 3 without loss. Harry Kane scoring after 75 and 86 minutes. The one after 86 minutes was particularly impressive. And if you go back on BBC Sounds, you can hear some very adequate commentary on it from the cricket. Who's that swapping sides? Basra. No, not Basra. That's nonsense. It's McKean, isn't it, wearing 13. Amrit Basra is out on the boundary in front of the scoreboard. Lancashire 3 without loss. Let's concentrate fully on the cricket. Ben Aitchison, second ball of the over, bowling to Michael Jones, who launches him down the ground. Now, that might have the legs to go all the way. It does. One bounce and crosses the rope. The first boundary for Lancashire was pretty much a length ball, wasn't it?
Yeah, it just looked like he hit through the line in the ball there, pretty easy. Comes on nicely. One bounce or two bounces for 4, and he opens his account.
So they move up to 9-7 without loss. Math was never a strong point. 7 without loss. England in action this evening as well, of course, up at Chester Street as Aitchison is in, and that one's been launched out towards long on for 6. Smashes into the advertising boards. He's called up the man at backward point and sent out the long on. I think that might be a case of after the horse has bolted. But we shall see.
Do you think Donald's thinking he should have batted first?
Derbyshire have done pretty well this season, in fairness. Totals of 203, 211, 215. Scores that they generally don't get. But they've got them this season. They just haven't quite backed that up with the points on the board. This one is pushed out into the offside. They're going through for the quick singles. A shy at the stumps from McKean, although it was more of a shy at Ben Aitchison than the stumps.
He wasn't happy about that as well. It just seemed like it went straight to the fielder there. You've got to be stopping ones in that inner circle.
The game at Chester Street, they're in the 19th over there. India, 173 for 5 after choosing to bat first up at the Riverside. In the first of 5, I think it is, T20 internationals, as Aitchison is into Keaton Jennings, who launches this one down the ground for 6. This is a poor over from Ben Aitchison first up. He's conceded 18 runs off his first 5 deliveries. He's one of Derbyshire's premier bowlers. He's been their best bowler all season, certainly in red ball cricket, and he's been treated with disdain by these two.
Just shows that these 4 balls have all been the same. All length balls, and they've just thrown their hands through the line of the ball, and you clear the outfield here and it races over the boundary.
Jennings waits and just clubs that up towards Martin Anderson at mid-off. Aitchison collects his cap. 19 runs off the second over, and it's 21 without loss after 2. And remember, Lancashire don't have their big gun. Sultan Butler opened against Leicestershire. They also had Saqib Mahmood and Luke Wood.
Yeah.
In the bowling attack. They are, as Aaron Donald said, I heard you talking to Dom about it was an interesting turn of phrase. They used to be a good side. That's the kind of thing that comes back and bites you, isn't it?
Hopefully he doesn't regret saying that.
Montgomery bowling the second over, and he's bowled him. He's chopped on as Keaton Jennings. He went for the reverse sweep. No real need to do it with 21 runs on the board after just 12 deliveries, but Matthew Montgomery bowls Liam Livingstone, and Lancashire are 21 for 1.
It's a bit of a strange shot, that. After the over before and how many runs it went for, he should have just got off strike and let Matty Jones have a go.
Yeah, it's an unnecessary reverse sweep. How many times do you think I've said that in my commentating career? Many, many times. 9 off 8. The trouble is, it brings Liam Livingstone in, and he's won a couple of games almost single-handedly. Actually, he won one single-handedly up at Chester Street against Durham on a Saturday evening, a game I watched. It was a 10 over a side contest, and he actually hit 4 successive sixes to get them right back into the game towards the end of his innings, and eventually got them over the line. And he played superbly at Southport, I want to say, against Glamorgan, but Glamorgan did something absolutely astonishing in that game. They won it comfortably in the end, and they needed something like 36 off the last 8 balls or something, and managed to beat Lancashire. The North teams haven't done very well in the interdivisional matches this season. Liam Livingstone on strike, and his first ball, he just clips wristily into the mid-wicket region. And there is no run.
Do you think he still should be playing for England? Do you think his name should be in the hat still?
I think he probably should, but he didn't. He feels he's been cut adrift, doesn't he, from everything that I've seen that he's said. That ball there turned into the leg side by Livingston, who gets off the mark. Yusuf bin Naeem with the fielding.
Taking away where Derbyshire are in the group, overall, since Mickey's been here, do you think you've seen an improvement?
Not really. That one's pushed into the offside by Jones. Well, improvement would be getting to quarter-finals. Yes, they did get to a quarter-final in his very first season, and that was the defeat at Taunton, which is still a painful memory. And they're here next week, Somerset. This one is driven down the ground by Jones, 4 runs. Out towards long off, goes underneath the stand at the far end of the ground. The scoreboard turns into a flashing light festival. I think it's 26 for 1 it is. Jones moves on to 16. That ball just driven down the ground nicely. 1 ball to go then in the over, and then we'll be back with Matt Wygold to find out what the atmosphere's like after England's 2-1 victory over DR Congo at the Ultra Warehouse in Derby. If he can hear us, let's hope he can. 26 for 1. Jones is on 16, Livingston is on 1. We will speak to Matt again, whether we speak to him now or later. They found the ball, they'd actually swapped the ball. David Milnes, the unmistakable figure of at the far end. And Richard Kettleborough. It's always good to have an international umpire on the ground. This one is pushed by Jones up towards long on. 27 for 1 at the end of 3 overs, then just 6 off that. 8 in total off Matthew Montgomery. 1 for 8 his figure, so a good start for him. And a sort of even start, really. 27 runs, 3 overs. Derbyshire would probably be happy with that, but they'd have been happier had Ben Aitchison not been slapped all over the place.
These things happen. One bowler in the power play is always going to go. It's just about how you come back from that. There was quite a smart over there. Montgomery taking the wicket, but it just shows that Lancashire are confident in the depth of batters that they've got. They can just keep on going very hard at it, even if they've got 2 international batters.
It's what happens these days, isn't it? The teams just keep going. It's quite frightening, and 200 is pretty much the standard score. Dom tucking into some crisps. So here's Nick Potts. You might have heard it in the background. The ball is guided by Michael Jones. The Ormskirk Scot out to backward point for a single.
I've been pretty impressed with...
No run. I was too busy worried about the cheese and onion.
I've been pretty impressed with Nick Potts. As we said at the start of the campaign, he wouldn't be the first one on the list if the full squad was fit. But I think he's, off the back of the 4-day game against Middlesex, he's obviously taken that form and he's taken this opportunity with both hands. And
stayed fit, which has been a problem for him over the years. Now he's been slapped down the ground. There's the commentator's curse. 1 bounce, 4 down the ground goes Michael Jones. He moves to 21, 31 for 1 here in the 4th over now. I think we can expect Lancashire to get close to 200. I mean, that's what teams do, as I was saying a little earlier, and Derbyshire have done that. They managed to chase down 190-odd. The trouble is, and they also won by 23 runs when they scored 234 against Notts. In comes Potts again, balls, and that's off an edge. That might even have been an inside edge. Down towards a very fine leg, past wicket-keeper and Aaron Dolan for 4. He's a bit unlucky there.
I think he gave himself room. He's seen that short third and point are up, and it seems like he's just bowling pace balls. All he's done is just use the pace and got it past the keeper, and we know what happens here at Derby once it's past the inner circle.
Yeah, it's difficult in the first 6 overs as well. You cannot cover the whole outfield, and the 2 men are out on the leg side boundary who are allowed outside the circle. There's a short delivery that will be a wide. That bounced a long way over Jones's head. That would have gone over anybody's head He scratches away at the footmarks because it was the footmarks' fault.
Always is being a bowler, but I like that. He's changing it up. He's not being predictable, and I think that's what served him so well with that throughout this campaign. At the moment, he's been unpredictable. He's backed himself with these different skills, different balls.
He's also grown a splendid moustache. Nick Pott, when I say splendid. In he goes. Bowls to Jones, who pulls him into the leg side out towards Cow Corner for 4 over the head of Ross Whiteley, who's on the edge of the 30-yard circle. That's 3 boundaries off this over as well, in addition to the boundaries that were scored off the previous over from this end. 3 of those, but 2 of them were 6s off Ben Aitchison's over. Well, Matthew Montgomery's gone for 8. Aitchison went for 19, and Potts, with 2 balls to go of his first over, has gone for 13. Perhaps we might see some more spin in the power play soon. I don't know whether Sufjan McKean didn't bowl in the power play at Chesterfield. As Potts goes into Jones on 29 off 12, and he remains on 29 off 12 as that man, McKean, does the fielding at the second attempt on the edge of the circle. Dot ball, 40 for 1, 13 runs off the over.
Just seems like anybody that's bowling from this end's being tapped up at the moment.
Yes. I mean, they have got good bowling options with Martin Anderson, Akif Javed, of course, with his rockets. In goes Potts and bowls down the track comes Jones. It's up in the air. McKean's underneath it and takes the catch. He didn't take a catch on Sunday, which is why I hesitated when I saw it was Sufjan McKean underneath it. But Jones goes for 29 and Nick Potts picks up a wicket in his first over. He'll be delighted by that. Michael Jones has gone, and Lancashire are 40 for 2.
Came back nicely there, got hit for a few boundaries and then changed it up. A shorter ball a bit further away from the swing of Michael Jones, and it's just gone straight up, and a pretty decent catch as well. Always difficult over your shoulders, but everybody had faith in him, didn't they?
Yeah,
even
absolutely,
you.
yeah, absolutely. And they never looked like dropping it. Never looked like dropping it. 13 off the over then and the wicket of Michael Jones. Yes, I may have said something unfortunate about McKean's drop catch on Sunday, because he's replaced Mohamed Ghazanfar, who couldn't catch a cold. And even off his own bowling, he was putting them down. We're going to see Matthew Montgomery bowl a 3rd over. Now, this is both exciting and slightly risky, but he is bowling to different batters, of course. Liam Livingston on 1 is on strike, 40 for 2, and he drives this out into the offside straight away and Madsen at extra cover.
If he has a quiet over here, it will be a captain's tactical
Genius, wasn't it?
genius.
Absolute genius.
If he gets tapped here, it'll be 1 too many. That's what the fans will be saying.
Livingston guides this to short third man, no run, fielded by Ben Aitchison. So far, so good for Montgomery. You can't imagine that Liam Livingston is going to face 3 dot balls, can he? He's going to wind up here, isn't he?
Commentator's curse here.
Bit of extra turn on the ball. It's a quicker one. It's pushed up to long on. In off the boundary comes Ross Whiteley to do the fielding, and Livingston moves on to 2 off 5, 41 for 2. Wickets slow, batting sides down.
And I think as well, Liam Livingston is the rock now for Lancashire's batting side. To get to 200, he needs to be in
Comes off the edge of hers about that. There's a cry of no from Livingston. He didn't fancy taking on the McKean arm.
No. Especially after seeing that catch.
Wonderful, yeah, absolutely did. It showed what an athlete he is. I understand that Matty Hurst is going to keep wicket for Lancashire as well. He's on strike, and that one is a swing and a miss outside the off stump. This is a magnificent over from Montgomery. This needs to get out of it. Now, even if he's hit for 6, he's only gone for 7, which is remarkable in a power play for an occasional bowler. He bowls. That one is pushed out into the offside. It's a dot ball. 41 for 2 then after 5 overs here. Matt Wygold is at the Ultra Warehouse in Derby, having watched England beat DR Congo. Matt, come in. Thank you, Matt. Well, excellent news from the Ultra Warehouse, and excellent news here at the County Ground in Derby, because with his first ball of the match, Akif Javid has taken a wicket. He has managed to have Liam Livingston caught by an Aaron Donald, and not just caught by an Aaron Donald, but a superb diving catch to his right-hand side. And the danger man, Livingston, goes for 2. Lancashire 41 for 3. That could be a big wicket, Greg Cork.
Absolutely. Liam Livingston was going to be the rock. Lancashire needed him there as long as possible, and that is a massive, massive wicket. And hopefully Derbyshire can really crack into the middle order now. But McDermott, international player, oozes in experience. So,
former Derbyshire man, of course. Played 2 first-class matches for him. Javid bowls to him, and he just pushes this out into the offside. He's already done better than he did against Leicestershire on Friday, because he was out for a first ball duck. Ben McDermott, he hasn't been able to buy a run since he came to Lancashire. He came to Derbyshire predominantly to play T20 cricket. Played 2 games of red ball, the last of which, or the first of which, I'm not sure, was down at Worcestershire. And that was the first. And then he got called up by Australia for the tour of the West Indies that none of the senior players really wanted to go on and couldn't turn it down. So he left. In comes Javid again. Bowls. That's been lifted into the leg side. And he's got off the mark with a 4. Just bounces inside the boundary rope out at mid-wicket. Yeah, it's a footmarks, even though he wasn't bowling around the wicket at the time. He scratches away at the Akif Javid.
you should never bump an Australian, I always think.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
Especially with the wickets out there. But even if he got hit for another boundary, that Livingston wicket is absolutely massive and very pivotal within this game.
Well, of course, Lancashire have now lost 3 wickets in the power play. We all know what that means. Without any evidence, it means Lancashire can't win. Of course, Yorkshire lost 3 and didn't win. They only tied. It's the curse of the 3 wickets in the power play. Javid around the wicket, off the bottom edge of McDermott's bat as he tried to pull it into the leg side. It bounces straight into the floor, not far from his toe. 45 for 3 with 2 balls of the Akif Javid over to go. Shadab Khan due next. Joe Moores, who is 17 years of age, and what a prospect he looks. He played terrifically well at Chesterfield in the County Championship match. Jack Blatherwick, Tom Hartley, Tom Aspinwall and Sir James Anderson to complete the Lancashire lineup. Here comes Akif again in and bowls, and that one is just defended by McDermott. Full of length, that delivery, and he could do nothing really with it. He's suggesting it's doing something, is Ben McDermott. That's what pitches in this country do, Ben.
Donald and Derbyshire will be really happy with this start. 1 more wicket and they're really into this middle order. It looks like quite a long tail as well from Blatherwick downwards.
Well, the ridiculous thing is a victory for Derbyshire tonight puts them up to 3rd in the North Group. Top 3 have a chance of qualifying. I'm not sure the 3rd in the North Group will. Akif bowled, turned around the corner down to short fine leg, fielded by Martin Anderson, and another good over. Just that 4 out to mid-wicket from it, but the wicket of Liam Livingston. 45 for 3, Lancashire at the end of the power play.
And Derbyshire will be on the front foot here now. This is where they really squeeze coming out of the power play. Try and get a spin on.
I think this is quite clever, because Matthew Montgomery, I'm just having a look now, he's only bowled his full allocation twice this season. That was at Headingley and at Trent Bridge, where he went for 1 for 24 and 1 for 34. But him bowling 4 overs means there's less pressure on an Aaron Donald to bowl a full allocation for Aitchison or Potts if somebody isn't having a good night. Here is Montgomery into bowl to Matty Hurst, who goes back and pushes the ball out towards the cover boundary. Amrit Basra does the fielding and they take a single. 46 for 3.
And the difference between the good sides and the very good sides are that 6th bowler. The bigger clubs have the opportunity to get a really good 6th bowler. And Montgomery tonight, sometimes when it's your night, just keep going. You know, he's only gone for 10 runs at the moment and he's got 4 balls left. So it's a really brave decision, but I think it's the right decision here.
Montgomery pushes the first ball he faces towards Wayne Madsen at extra cover, and then pushes the second ball he faces from Matthew Montgomery out to Wayne Madsen at extra cover. 3 balls to go in what is a special spell from Matthew Montgomery so far, and that one is pushed straight back to him by Ben McDermott. It looks like he's here batting for a draw.
I think these two know as well now. They just need to dig in. They need to get a good partnership under the belt.
2 balls to go. He drops that one short. That wasn't a good delivery at all. It's cracked away by McDermott out to Basra on the cover boundary for just a single. McDermott moves on to 5 from 9, 47 for 3.
Is Nudgedale fit?
Yes.
You know, have you got an update on?
No, he played. He played at Chesterfield and played quite well. But he hasn't really featured in T20 cricket very much over the last couple of seasons, Nudge, which is remarkable when you think how good a fielder he is, a useful bowler, a decent bat. Doesn't quite seem to fit into the plans.
Did you see he's a similar cricketer to Basra, maybe has a bit more experience on Basra and could be...
And bowls, which Basra does bowl in the seconds, but doesn't bowl in the first team. That's the end of Matthew Montgomery's spell. 4 overs, 1 for 12, 48 for 3 at the end of 7 overs. Just the 3 runs off that. That's a remarkable spell from Matthew Montgomery.
That's an absolute bonus as well. Donald would have probably wanted 1, even 2 overs out of him, but as you said, it now frees up and gives Donald that flexibility. If somebody gets tapped, then at least he's got some options up his sleeves now.
And here is Akif Javed, 1 for 4 off his first over, bowling to Matty Hurst, who clips this into the leg side. He fancies 2 here. Basra's quick, though. Gets in off the boundary and keeps them down to a single. I was just writing in the Matthew Montgomery figures there, his best figures of the season, beating the 1 for 18 that he got on Sunday, but those 1 for 18 came off 2 overs. This is a 4 over spell, 1 for 12. Very good effort.
And especially in the power play as well. He's a part-time spinner. He's not your overseas spinner or anything like that. So he's done an absolutely brilliant job.
Akif Javed bowls and McDermott tries to pull him, gets it horribly wrong. All his timing was out there. And they just pulled the ball into the ground. Wayne Madsen does the fielding. Sounded like they were going to play that bugle for a moment there. As soon as I walked onto the pitch earlier on today, they started playing that blasted bugle. Early on this afternoon as well. The guys down there know my feelings towards it. I don't think I'm the only one. I might be the only one in this box, but I don't think I'm the only one in the ground. Is Akif Javed bowling to McDermott, who just turns this one into the leg side. Hit off the boundary this time comes Montgomery. No, Yusuf Benaim. Dear, oh dear. Does the feeling. Where's Montgomery? There he is at backward point. So it's Yusuf and Amrit out there on the leg side boundary. Have they got a long on? No, they haven't, because Ross Whiteley's in at mid-on. There's a man on the point boundary and a man down at a third man and a fine leg. There's all the fielders outside the circle. There's a big gap on the leg side, isn't there, towards the square leg umpire, David Milnes. As Akif is in again, and this is lifted out into the leg side. Can Basra get round in time? He can't, and neither can the man Martin Anderson, who's down at fine leg either. He's split the fielders there, Matty Hurst. Nicely played. He moves on to 7, and Lancashire up to 53 for 3 in the 8th over.
And Javed looked a bit disgruntled there. He felt like the fielders were fine leg was in the wrong spot there. As always, it always happens as a bowler. You get hit for a boundary and it's either the footmarks or the fielders are not in the right place. But going back to that spell that Montgomery bowled with Aitchison and how he bowled, it just gives Donald a bit more freedom now to have a look at other options now. He doesn't need to bowl his full quota if needed.
If he's in, that one's been pulled, and this one is in between the deep backward square leg and the man out on the mid-wicket boundary. And it's another 4 to Matty Hurst. Was that Ben McDermott, is it? No, it's Hurst. Who pulled that quite violently. Decent player in his own right, of course. Matty Hurst. And Aitchison and Ross Whiteley offering some advice to Akif Javed. In what language? A man from Formby and a man from the Punjab region of Pakistan. I'm not sure. As Akif is in again, and that's a short-ish ball. It's pulled out into the leg side. Bin Naeem is there, and it keeps them down to a single. It was the final ball of the over. 59 for 3 off 8 overs. 11 from that one. Jane's been tickled by a feather next door. Those of you who tune in, and I would urge you to do so, to the County Championship coverage that we offer on BBC Radio Derby, will know James' laugh very well, because there's no music to hide it in the County Championship. Here we go. Sufyan Makeem, left arm wrist spinner. You don't get many of those, do you?
No, and it just poses a different factor for the batters to think about.
2 for 32 from his 4 overs at Chesterfield on debut. It's his first game here in Derby, and the first ball he goes back. Matty Hurston pushes it up to long off, because we're now at the OurCoop County Ground. Used to be at a different one. I'm not sure about changing sponsorship halfway through, but especially when I can't get it into my head what it is. McKean bowls McDermott. I can do now. He looks woefully out of form, doesn't he?
Famous last words that you watch. He'll score
as soon as I said it.
50 ball 100 here, Fletch.
But he just doesn't look. He doesn't look like he's got any form behind. But he hasn't got any form behind him, and he's really scratching around at the moment for Lancashire. It's horrible to see. 6 off 12, 60 for 3. McKean sort of leans forward before he starts his run-up. Now he bowls to McDermott, goes back and plays it straight to Wayne Madsen at extra cover, and he sort of turns around in a very frustrated manner, doesn't he, McDermott? Nice bloke. I'll never forget the first interview, well, the first and last, in fact, because of his short stay at Derbyshire, as McKean is into him, and this time he does get a run out towards the straightish mid-wicket area. It's fielded by Ross Whiteley, and they get back 4-2, 62 for 3. McDermott moves on to 8. I didn't really know what he looked like, so I went to the bottom of the steps at New Road in Worcester and sort of went, Ben. Every time somebody walked down, and when he eventually turned around, I said, oh, Ben.
He's a stocky lad, isn't he?
McKean bowls to him, and he cuts it, but straight to backward point, where it's fielded by Yusuf Bin Naeem.
Sometimes as well you feel a bit scratchy, but it just takes one shot and then you just go through the gears. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes with all the experience that he's got playing around the world. Sometimes you just got to dig in, even though the scoreboard doesn't reflect it.
Good first over though from McKean. Just 4 runs coming from it in total. Hurst has 13, McDermott 9. The partnership is doing okay. 22 off 23, 63 for 3 after 9 overs. The Lancashire innings as Matty Hurst and Ben McDermott both have a drink, and what is a very muggy evening out there in the middle.
And Derbyshire are in a fortunate position now with them taking them 3 early wickets. They can really try and get through these next couple of overs as quick as possible, damage limitations, and then Lancashire batters need to start going through the gears, and that poses the risk that they're going to be able to take the wickets here, because there's not too many more batters in the hutch other than Carnan and the promising Moores.
Yeah, not much experience, Moores. I mean, and that's always difficult, isn't it? I mean, he batted beautifully in the second innings of a losing cause at Chesterfield in the County Championship. Martin Anderson into the attack ball, into Ben McDermott, who comes down the track. There you go. First ball into the sight screen for 6. And that might be the shot that gets Ben McDermott back into a little bit of form. He moves on to 15, and it's 69 for 3 now, Lancashire. I told you he didn't look like he had any form.
I don't think the Derbyshire fans are going to be happy with you, Fletch.
They never are. They never are.
But I think going back to Moores as well, I haven't seen too much. I've seen a couple of videos and clips. It doesn't matter what age they're at; they're just full of confidence.
And there's some balls. That one is driven out into the offside for a single by McDermott, out towards Nick Potts, who's got a magnificent arm. They take a single, 70 for 3. We're in the 10th over, so approaching the halfway stage of the Lancashire innings.
What do you think a par score is with this situation now?
If they can get up to 170, they'd be happy, wouldn't they, from here, I think. That one is played up towards Ross Whiteley at long on. Just for a single by Hurst, who moves to 14, 71 for 3. Yeah, I think so. That would mean they'd have to go at 10 and over, though, for the remaining overs, which is feasible in this form of cricket. There's no question about it, but whether or not with 3 wickets down they can. With this man out in the middle, as he's aged, Sofian McKean made no attempt to dive for that or anything. It came off the edge of McDermott's bat down to quite a fine third man. And 4 more to McDermott, who moves on to 20. Now, Lancashire up to 75 for 3, but a little bit of good fortune for Ben McDermott there. Had a proper old swing at that one. No slips in place, of course, at this stage of a T20 match as he turns this next delivery into the leg side. He wants 2. In off the boundary comes Bin Naeem, and that was an excellent piece of fielding by the young man. He signed at the same time as Harry Moore, his first professional contract. News to report on Harry, who we didn't see last season and probably won't see this season, but he was jogging around the boundary at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, which was good to see. As Anderson bowls down the track, and a launch down the ground by Hurst for 6. There was a leap down below us by Ross Whiteley, flung up the left arm, but couldn't get anywhere near it as it sailed over the boundary rope. And 2 sixes off that Martin Anderson over. Matty Hurst moves on to 20. Was the 3?
There was a 4 as well.
Yes, a 4 as well. Yeah.
That was a big over as well. Overs like that can sometimes shift the momentum for the batting team there. So Derbyshire need a good couple of quiet overs now to restrict them, as you said.
19 off it with those 2 sixes and a 4.
To keep them under 170.
McKean to continue from the city end. That was the halfway stage, incidentally, 82 for 3. First ball, McDermott clips out into the leg side. Hurst turns for the second. Excellent fielding by Potts to get the ball away quickly and keeps them down to a single. 83 for 3. Absolutely nothing. McDermott 22 of 21. Hurst 20 off just 12. He's on strike now. McKean bowls to him and he tries to pull it. Comes off the toe end of the bat, I think. He's got his back to us. Difficult to see, but it went straight back to Sofian McKean.
I've been really impressed with Derbyshire's fielding. I think it helps when you're in a good position. Keeping the momentum in the field, throwing themselves around, it does make a big difference.
Off the edge again, this time of Matty Hurst's bat. There was a dive put in by Ben Aitchison at short third man. It went past him and down to the boundary rope below us for 4 runs. That's 2 edges in the last 2 overs that have gone to the boundary. They've just got to keep believing that one of these edges will go to a fielder at some point. 87 for 3.
Not as bad as that T20 game against Nottinghamshire down here when the ball just consistently went behind square. Inside, outside, edges, 4 runs.
Could ride your luck. That's a full toss. Low full toss, and it's driven up to long off, where it's fielded by Martin Anderson, who underarms it back to McKean. Ben Aitchison just either keeping himself warm and loose, that is, rather than feeling cold in any way, or he's going to come on at the next over. McKean drops that one short, pulled into the leg side, and it's gone sailing over the dugouts and into the car park for 6. It wasn't a good delivery. It was dragged down. McDermott was all over it and pulled it away out towards straightish mid-wicket for 6.
I think he's got away with the length that he's been bowling up until that ball. McDermott knows the length that he's bowling in this spell, and he's just kept his weight on the back foot and just waited for the short ball, and he's a big, strong man and hit it into the car park near the ice cream parlour.
So I'm hit one, and they're going to change the ball. I think here it's got a flake. It's got either a flake on it or some sprinkles, something like that, as it hit the ice cream van. But they are going to change the ball here. I saw Ben McDermott 2 seasons ago. I think it might have been 3 seasons ago before he came to Derbyshire, or 4 seasons ago. Who knows? Hit a ball in the Big Bash that went out of the ground at Hobart, and they never got it back, of course, but it was enormous, absolutely enormous. There was a lot of excitement about him playing T20 cricket here for Derbyshire, but of course, as so often happens with Derbyshire's overseas players, we didn't see it happen.
Always seems like there's some dilemma whenever Derbyshire get this headline overseas. It seems like wrong time.
Yeah, they get permission withdrawn by the Australian board, or in the case of Mitch Santner, his knee fell apart. McKean bowls, full delivery, clipped into the leg side by McDermott for a single, 95 for 3 at the end of the over. So another expensive-ish over. Sufjan McKean has now bowled 2 overs for 17, and 13 of those runs came off that over, and we are going to see Ben Aitchison.
And this is what the good teams do. They're just slowly building a partnership now. Partnership up to 54 off 35 balls, and rotating the strike really well, running hard between the wickets, hitting the bad balls, a couple of fortunate outside edges for 4, and it just slowly starts to accumulate. So this is what the good teams do. They assess the situation, they don't go too hard, and they try and take it as deep as possible.
I haven't heard Grace Kelly for a long time. Aitchison in and bowls short of a length, pulled into the leg side. Basra is there, and just for a moment, it didn't look like whether he was sure how it was going to bounce. It's raining at Chesterler Street. We'll fancy that. Derbyshire there a week on Friday for their penultimate game in the T20 Blast qualifications, certainly. And India have finished their 20 overs against England, 189 for 7. But it is raining at Chesterler Street. In goes Aitchison, bowls to Hurst, who clips this into the leg side. In off the boundary comes Bin Naeem, does the fielding, and keeps them down to a single. Hurst on to 26. McDermott has 30, 97 for 3. Decent enough start to this over from Ben Aitchison. You don't go to the boundary, it's a good over. He has only bowled 2 balls, but he's hoping he won't go to the boundary. Hurst bowls full. Aitchison bowls full. Hurst clips it up towards Ross Whiteley. They're coming back for the second, and that's good running by McDermott. Saw the opportunity for 2. It was Hurst who was doing the running. It was McDermott who played the shot, and despite the fact that Whiteley was quickly to the ball, they do get back for a second.
And it's difficult as well because he's left-handed and the ball's going to his right hand, so he has to really get round his body and throw it in, even though he's a fabulous fielder.
Now then, Aitchison will have to do the fielding of his own bowling here. He looks around to see if the batters are going through for a second, and they're not, as it was clipped just gently into the leg side. The 100 comes up for the Lightning, as they're called on the scoreboard. Lancashire, as old fogies would like to call them. A lot of teams have dispensed with the nicknames at the end of their names these days. Yorkshire have dropped the Vikings as Aitchison bowls, and that one is slapped into the offside by Hurst out towards Potts. Picks up another single. He moves to 27, 101 for 3 with 1 ball of the 12th over to go, and it's been a fairly decent over so far from Ben Aitchison.
Seems like the outfield's not misbehaving as well, not many misfields, maybe because of the rain that we're getting had recently. It's just made it a little bit easier to field on.
And another delivery clipped away off his pads this time by McDermott. They're coming back for the second as it's fielded down there by Montgomery. 2 off the final ball of the over, 103 for 3. Just 8 runs off that one. So a good comeback from Ben Aitchison, who conceded 19 off his first over. 2 overs for 27 for him. Hurst has 27. McDermott has 35. 8 overs to go. They still need to score at 10 and over to get to 180, which it seems to be the minimum requirement these days.
And Derbyshire will be confident of chasing anything around 200. They've done it in the past. They've set it as well. So with the two opening batters in Donald and Anderson scoring collectively, between them.
McKean bowls to Hurst, start of his third over, and it's clipped up towards long on for a single. Ross Whiteley out there does the fielding. Hurst moves to 28, 104 for 3. Very good crowding considering the alternative attractions. And that one is in the air. He's going to get away with it. Wayne Madsen chases after it. It lands about 5 yards outside, less than that, outside the 30-yard circle. A complete miss-hit. McDermott moves to 36, 105 for 3.
He's rode his luck here a little bit, hasn't he?
A little bit.
You've really got to make the most of it. If it's your night, keep going.
McKean bowls. That's pulled into the leg side, out towards Nick Potts by Hurst. I think that's Potts. It is. Can't see the tash from here, which is a shame. Another single, 106 for 3. Halfway through the 13th over. McKean is in. It's an attempt to cut it there by McDermott. He misses, collected by.
And what are the availabilities like for these Derbyshire two overseas? Can they play all the way up to the end of the competition?
Yeah, I believe so. As McKean bowls, and he's pulled this violently into the leg side as McDermott. That's 4 runs out towards Cow Corner. He moves on to 40 now off just 30 deliveries. You're going to make me eat my words, Ben McDermott, this evening. I wouldn't say he was massively convincing, but he's hanging on in there, is the Australian. 110 for 3 now. The quarterfinals and final are quite quickly after the group stage is finished. Oh, he's launched that one. An absolute mile, Ben McDermott. An absolute mile. It's gone over the back of the fence and into the car park again, possibly into the fan zone. 6 to finish the over. That was an enormous hit, and the third successive by Sufyan McKean proves to be slightly expensive. 116 for 3, 13 off.
He just waited for that short ball. He knew it was coming, and he just used his brute force. And I think as well, even though, as you rightly said, McDermott looked scratchy early on, these players can catch themselves up late, back end of their innings, really. So this could be a match-winning sort of partnership between these two, and it frees up the guys behind them as well in Khan and Morsey. They've got license there to really push hard and get that total 170, 180, which gives them a chance. You look at the two opening batters that have scored 500 T20 runs between them.
This is straight up in the air off the bat of Matty Hurst. It's a good catch taken there by Sufyan McKean. He's taken 2 now.
You wouldn't have your overseas fast bowler at backward point.
Was it?
Oh no, sorry.
Was it
your overseas spinner?
Excellent.
At
Thank you.
backward point. I was just testing you out there, Fletch.
Well, no,
I'm still getting over that England result.
There's 2 wickets for Potts as well. Well played him. Matty Hurst goes. As you said, it's been a really good partnership. 75 for the 4th wicket. 29 off 20 in the end. Matty Hurst sets things up nicely for Lancashire, but they have now lost 4 wickets. 116 for 4. Sufyan McKean. I take it all back. What a fielder. He's taken a couple of catches. The first one, I wasn't massively convinced he was going to take, and I wasn't 100% convinced on that one either, but
He must be used to the lights now anyway, so he'll be absolutely fine.
it's almost pitch black out there, isn't it? New lights will be here next season at the county ground.
And it'd be interesting to see what they do now, whether they stick the inner circle fielders on the ring, or whether they want to try and stop the one and try and get as many dots in this over as possible with still 5 balls to go. Great start for Potts in his second over.
Shadab Khan the new batter. So both of the overseas out there together now for Lancashire, and he bangs one in short, and it's lifted out towards the backward point boundary. One bounce, 4. It's not a bad delivery to get first ball, really, is it?
He's a very handy overseas all-rounder with international experience at franchise level and playing for his national team, Pakistan.
That was Ariana Grande.
It's your favourite.
That's what it says on my phone, anyway. Here's Potts into bowl to Shadab again, and he just pushes it to backward point where it's fielded by Sufyan Makim. No run.
Seems like he's just going to keep on going. Khan here with the bat. I think he only plays one way here, and I don't think it's defence mode.
Not really. 120 for 4. Hurst out for 29, caught by Sufyan Makim off the bowling of Nick Potts, who's got 2 for 17 off 1.5 overs now. He's clawing it back nicely. Goes in and bowls to Shadab, who lifts it into the leg side. It's in the air for quite a while, but it's going to bounce short of Amrit Basra, and he gets away with one as well. Picks up a single, moves to 5, 121 for 4.
I like what he's doing here. He's bowling to his field. He's got cow corner, deep square leg and fine leg back. Quite big boundaries on the leg side here, and he's just hitting halfway down the pitch here. So he's asking the batters to take that risk.
Potts 2 for 34, best figures of the season so far. So these are eclipsing those if he can carry on this kind of form, as that one is clipped into the leg side by McDermott, out towards Bin Naeem for a single. 122 for 4. As I was talking to the radio link, said Scott's such a nice bloke, as people will know, having listened to him for 2.5 days at Chesterfield before Lancashire eventually subsided to defeat. Yes, would you just have a chat with me? He said about 6 o'clock as Potts goes in again, bowls, and Shadab pulls that one into the leg side. Now they're thinking of 2 here, but again, excellent work from Yusuf Bin Naeem to get in off the boundary. The end of the over, 123 for 4 now, and there were just 7 runs off that Nick Potts over. We're talking, when you talk about the boundaries, they are big boundaries, square here. They seem to be even bigger at Lancashire, and Derbyshire play them hopelessly. They have done every year I've been to Old Trafford to watch them play just about. They don't realise how far back the boundaries are and get caught out there. Then Lancashire on a spinning pitch at Old Trafford, which I don't think it is anymore this season, certainly, but it has been. And they've fared fairly poorly, but...
it seems like that's been Lancashire's DNA for the past 5 or 6 years.
Absolutely.
Get out the power play and get the spinners on. The likes of Parry, Keedy, they'll have overseas spinners as well.
Yeah.
And it just seems like they've done that year on year, and people fall into the trap.
Certainly the team I go there to watch has fallen into the trap on a number of occasions. Martin Anderson, first over, went for 19. He's back, and he concedes a boundary slightly, unfortunately, as Shadab plays the ball, looking to cut it, gets a top edge and down to a wide third man.
He's given himself some room there, and he's backed himself to get over short third and backward point here. He's just used all the pace and used all the experience.
Yes, Keith Chubb had no chance. That's a horrible position. That's his short, fine leg. Where Sufyan Makim is, that one is a full length. Shadab tries to flick it away into the leg side. It misses leg stump and then grubs along the ground to an Aaron Donald. He's got his hands on his hips, can't quite believe how it hasn't hit something.
And as well with that, the shot that he played on his with the first ball there, it makes it a lot harder for Anderson to come back, but that was a fantastic Yorker there underneath the bat.
He's in again. This one's slightly short of a length. Good bounce as well, and Shadab plays it into the leg side. They're going to come back for the second as it's picked up by Potts racing in off the boundary, but they get back comfortably for 2, and Shadab moves on to 12, 129 for 4.
And this is what Derbyshire's got to do. They've got to pick the pockets. They've obviously made the boundaries a certain size, and they've got to really push hard between the wickets.
Anderson in full delivery down the leg side wide. It's the second wide, I believe, of the innings. One was for over the head from Nick Potts, and it is indeed only the second wide of the innings. Extras 2, which is a good effort in itself. After 14 and a half overs, this time takes a bit of pace off it there, Anderson. Clipped into the leg side after waiting for the ball to arrive. McKean does the fielding and they take a single, and Shadab moves on to 13, 131 for 4. 8 runs off the over.
So Derbyshire sit bottom of the table with 10 points, and Notts at the top on 20 points. Obviously, Derbyshire have got a game in hand, but how many points do you reckon to get to that third
Well, a win tonight and they're there.
spot
Yeah.
by the end of the campaign?
At the end of the campaign. I don't think third spot is going to get them through. Martin Anderson's just bowled a terrific ball outside the off stump that was left alone by Ben McDermott, expecting a wide to be called, and it wasn't. Anderson's in again, and now he's been launched back down the ground over his head by McDermott. He reaches his half century with a 6 off 34 deliveries. A beautiful shot from Ben McDermott, who raises his bat towards the Lancashire dugout away to our left-hand side, and a man who can't buy a run has got 50 of them.
He should be raising his bat to you, Dave, there.
He certainly should. He's such a nice bloke. 34 balls, as I say, for Ben McDermott. 3 4s and 4 sixes. 3 4s and 4 sixes. The over comes to an end. 137 for 4, so 14 runs off that Anderson over, and we're going to see Akif Javed come on to bowl his penultimate over, the penultimate over that is allowed.
And sometimes it doesn't even need to look pretty. As long as you get the ball over the boundary in the scorebook, it looks like a glorious cover drive or a...
There's nothing wrong with that shot.
No, that was one of the best.
Nothing.
One of the best.
3/4 of the way up the seat unique stand at the far end of the ground. Akif Javed is in, and he follows Shadab as he makes room for himself into the leg side. He can do nothing more than push it out into the off.
And I'm guessing these two have probably played against each other as well back in Pakistan.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? You'd think so. Going back to the third place, because the northern teams tend not to beat the teams from outside their group, I think the two best third place teams will come from the other two groups. So really, you've got to be gunning for second place, if not top, in the North group, as Akif Javed comes in and bowls, and McDermott pulls but doesn't time it. And Yusuf bin Naeem comes in off the boundary. McDermott moves to 54, 139 for 4.
I just think a string of wins really puts Derbyshire in good contention. But how many times do we say that season on season, Fletch?
We say it all the time. Yeah, if they win the next 4, they'll qualify. Yeah. The only problem is the winning of the next 4, but they play Lancashire tonight and Lancashire again on Monday. That's their next match at Old Trafford. As Akif Javed is in, and that's gone down the leg side. It's been flicked away for 4 runs by Shadab Khan, who moves on to 18 now. Again, just slightly off target there, Akif Javed, and you get punished. 143 for 4 the following Wednesday, so this time next week, in fact. Somerset, the current holders of the T20 Blast Trophy, are in town, and they've only played each other once. That didn't go well. That was a quarter-final down at Taunton a few years ago. And then it's on the Friday night, it's a trip to the Chester Street, the frozen north, and the following Sunday here against Leicestershire. So they're playing next week. They're playing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday to finish it off. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Cram them in. Don't worry about the players. Here's Akif Javed in to bowl to Shadab. That one's been lifted for 6 out into the leg side. That is huge. Out towards the Monarch stand. And another 6 to add to the burgeoning total. The 8th of the innings so far. And Shadab Khan, well, he looks like he's in the mood as he sends that one over the rope to deep backward square leg. 149 for 4 now after 15 overs and 4 balls. And Wayne Madsen having a word now with Akif Javed.
that previous partnership between Hurst and McDermott's allowed Shadab Khan to have this freedom of going at it ball by ball here.
And goes Akif Javed again. This one's been launched straight back down the ground this time. Had to reach for it, did Shadab Khan, but it's 6 more. That is a fair old blow. Talking to Alex Hughes earlier on today, I had a good chat with him. Still the only Derbyshire player to clear the media centre. As he actually said, I don't know how I did it. Watching the players hit the ball as hard as they do now, I said, well, obviously the ball was timed perfectly and you must have had a big bat. And he says, well, I didn't have a big bat because I can't lift one up. Bless him, Yoz, but it was a huge hit a few years ago. Part of that side that got the finals day, of course. Alex Hughes now on the coaching staff. 155 for 4. Akif Javed in to bowl to Shadab Khan, who just drives this one out towards the cover boundary for a single. He moves on to 31 off just 13 deliveries. End of the over. 156 for 4. That's a difficult calculation. 19 of that Akif Javed over. Now we can't see what the score is because it's apparently they're throwing cheap T-shirts into the crowd. Lovely. 156 for 4 after 16 overs. Shadab Khan has 31. Ben McDermott has 54. The run rate 9 3/4.
So they're close to that 10 and over. But I think Derbyshire this season have done really well the back end when they've been bowling first. They've done really well the last couple of overs in most of the T20s. They've had a couple of quiet overs and it's really stung and taken out the momentum from the team that's setting ultimately. But a big couple of overs here. This can really change the momentum of the game here.
It's a major problem that Yorkshire provided as Aitchison comes back. That one's been flicked around the corner. Nicely done, Greg. Out towards the fine leg boundary for 6 by Ben McDermott. This isn't one of the quieter overs.
I think you've got to give Aitchison a bit of slack. He is leading wicket taker, so...
He's been magnificent this season, absolutely magnificent. Yorkshire, in their last 3 overs bowling, restricted Derbyshire to 17 runs, and that was the difference between the sides in the end. At Chesterfield at the weekend. Here comes Aitchison again, bowls to Shadab Khan, who drives this down the ground. A couple of bounces as it reaches Martin Anderson in the far distance. Single taken. Shadab moves to 38. 163 for 4.
After this over, who are the bowlers that are going to bowl you your last 3? Do you think, Fletcher, you're going to...
McKeem and Javed are going to bowl 2 of them. And then Potts, possibly, I would say. There's 2 wickets, 2 for 20 from 2 overs. Oh dear, Ben Aitchison has just been smashed down the ground, and that one has gone over the stand at the far end of the ground and possibly out of the ground. They might need a new ball here. In fact, Richard Kettleman's already making his way to the balls, and he just points to them, and Matthew Montgomery has to go and collect them. That was an enormous 6 straight down the ground. There were people at the top of the stand at the far end thinking they might have been in the game. 169 for 4. The score now, and McDermott on to 60 off 36. Can't buy a run, half-century partnership.
Maybe he's double bluffing us. He wanted to do it on purpose. Wanted us to give him the commentator's curse, and even he's double bluffed us.
Even the boys in the box next to me said, no, you can't buy a run, Ben McDermott. 60 off 36. Remarkable knock so far, with 3 4s and 5 6s.
I think he'll get close to a century here.
That would be something special, wouldn't it? But not necessarily the kind of special thing that you want to see. The ball has been returned, and Ben Aitchison now has 2 balls, 1 in each hand, so he's to give it back to the new one, back to David Milnes. 169 for 4. He's just altering his field slightly. He's got 1 man out on the cover boundary. He's got, or had, 2 men out on the leg side, 3 men out on the... Oh, he had 4, now he's got 2. As he pushes Bin Naeem out onto the off. I don't know why I bothered starting that, because the field's completely changed to what it was when I started to describe it. And then comes Aitchison to bowl to McDermott, who lifts this out towards the Monarch stand, and it's 6 more. about 5 yards over the rope in the far distance. Another big hit from Ben McDermott. He moves on to 66 now with his 6th 6 of the innings. And he could well be ending Derbyshire's hopes here in the T20 blast. 66 off 37, 175 for 4.
Do you think if they lose this tonight, Fletch, that's it for Derbyshire in this competition?
I think so. Aitchison is in, not mathematically, but close to. There's a slight misfield there by Akif Javed as the ball goes down to short third man, but then they go through for a single. McDermott moves on to 67, 176 for 4. Yeah, it'd be very difficult. You can't really, when they've almost got to win all of them, you can't see that, but to ask them to win their last 4, I mean, they'd certainly go into the quarter.
And the next 3 games, well, obviously they're going to be travelling up the M6 to Old Trafford, and then they've got the defending champions and Durham away, who have done really well. So,
he's gone for the hook shot there as Shadab Khan. He's got a feather on it, and it goes just past a diving Aniran Donald and down to the boundary at a very fine leg for 4 more runs to end a relatively expensive over. When I say relatively, what I mean is 24 runs from it. 180 for 4 now. Lancashire with 3 overs still to go. They'll be disappointed if they don't get 210.
it makes Montgomery look like an absolute genius there at the top of the show.
It does. And Sofian McKean is coming on this time at the racecourse end. Lights starting to take effect here at Derbyshire. And Ben McDermott on 67 off 38. This partnership was 64 off just 23 deliveries. And McKean is in and is heaved into the leg side by McDermott, who still doesn't look in good form. He's got 68 off 39, 181 for 4.
And from Derbyshire's perspective, this is where you need your overseas to stand up here. This is where he brings his experience, because there's been 2 or 3 really expensive overs.
14, 19 and 24 the last 3 overs have gone for. That's an awful lot of runs. Even I can work that out. 57 of them, in fact, in 3 overs. McKean around the wicket to Shadab, who just drives it down the ground towards Montgomery, who's fielding it long off. And another single is taken. A 6-run over will be perfect here. Single off each. It's quiet, isn't it? 10.5 the current run rate. So 210, that kind of area. Oh, he's been stumped. McDermott dances down the pitch. Good piece of work there from Aniran Donald. He was a swing and a miss from the Australian. And Sofian McKean picks up a wicket in his first game here at Derby, having picked up a couple at Chesterfield. And that was a wicket that was desperately needed by Derbyshire.
That's a massive wicket, that is. That can really steer the momentum here back in Derbyshire's favour. As you said, a couple of really expensive overs there, and then they've taken the big wicket whereby your overseas has stood up there and he's ran past one, and Donald's taken the stumps there. So fascinating to see how Moores plays here. Heard a lot about him. Obviously related to Tom Moores as well.
Cousin, I believe. I'm only guessing he's his cousin because he's Peter Moores' nephew. I think that's how it works. But yeah, 17 years of age. Some prospect, this kid.
I was watching him and Sir James Anderson fielding in the warm-up, and I thought, he's probably old enough to be his father.
Well, he was standing up to Sir James Anderson at Chesterfield. Can you imagine that? It was remarkable. Sofian McKean then at 182 for 5, bowls to Moores, who rather agriculturally heaves the ball into the leg side. I don't think we'll be seeing anything other than big shots being played for the remainder of this innings. 183 for 5 as Moores is off the mark. 14 balls left for Lancashire, who were put into bat, remember, and Aaron Donald won the toss. 183 for 5. Shadab Khan on strike. Straight up in the old dear, not straight up in the air. Has that cleared the... I think it has, you know. I think it's cleared the media centre. We don't see that very often. My car's just behind the media centre.
Who was the last person for Derbyshire to clear the media
I think that
centre?
was Alex Hughes, who I was talking
Just
to
need to
earlier,
clarify.
funnily enough. Yeah, that was a big shot, wasn't it, by Shadab Khan, who moves to 49 now. 186, 189 for 5, rather.
And Derbyshire need
big
to
shot.
sort of assess how Lancashire have gone about their innings. Derbyshire are on top in that power play, as we said, 3 wickets in the power play. Lancashire can't win, but it just shows the last 2 partnerships have been over 100 between both McDermott and Khan and McDermott and Hurst.
We went
So
from 41 for 3 to 182 for 5, and now 189 for 5. So yeah, sun comes out here at the OurCoop County Ground.
it's had a lot of names, this ground, hasn't it, over the past 5 years?
Too many for me.
What's been your favourite?
I can't. No, we can't do that. As this next delivery is launched out into the offside once again, possibility of a chance here for. He's run past it. He's run past it. As Matthew Montgomery is surprised by the bounce, I think, and Shadab Khan. Well, he picks up a boundary, and it's a half century for him off, I reckon, 19 deliveries. Wait for the 53 off 19 deliveries. That is it's pedestrian by an Aaron Donald standards, but it's a pretty swift half century, and it's 13 runs off the over, 193 for 5. 2 overs to go, and here's a big one, Nick Potts. So the final over, you would have thought, will be bowled by Akif Javed, and Nick Potts, who's currently got 2 for 20 from his 2 overs. He's got a big job to do here. McKean finishes with 4 overs, 1 for 43.
And that's what you want, is being your overseas being there in the middle. That's what you need with Palm being there. 53 off 19. He's done his job. That's what Lancashire pay him the money for.
Potts bowls, Moores pulls, and he's going to get 1, I think, as the ball is returned from the boundary away to our right hand side.
It'll be interesting to see how Lancashire field with this low sun. They're probably not used to it up at Old Trafford, so it's always a difficult one down
having
here.
regional stereotypes about people in the northwest. Come on, you're better than that, Greg. You're better than that. Never rains up in the northwest. It was slightly cooler last week as well, so we all benefited from that. Shadab Khan on 53 off 19, 194 for 5. Full toss from Potts, driven, half stopped by Wayne Madsen, single taken. Shadab moves to 54, 195 for 5.
2 good balls there, 2 off the over so far, so the guys are going to try and line up this ball, I think. I think this is the ball that they're going to go for.
Benitez 3 overs for 51. I'd be surprised if we saw him again. As Potts around the wicket bowls, and he goes for the flick. It's fielded at the 3rd attempt by an Aaron Donald, who takes off a glove and shies at the stumps, but Shadab had got through for the bye. 196 for 5, halfway through the 19th over.
Lancashire will be delighted at where they are from where they started here.
I think so.
They're going to set a really good total here, and it'll be a really good chase if Derbyshire can do it. We've got 2 of the best openers in the competition at the moment, so
Short ball from Potts off at top edge, 1 bounce 4 down to flying leg. Sophie McKean is down there.
I like his plans there. He's changed it up, and it's a top edge, and it's gone near enough over the keeper there. But at least he's given himself the best chance of being unpredictable and backing his skills.
200 up for Lancashire, 200 for 5, with 8 balls remaining. You know what that means? I'm going to have to look up Lancashire's highest score against...
Is there more chance of Derbyshire winning the T20 or England winning the World Cup, Fletch?
England winning the World Cup. I don't think there's any chance of that either. Having seen France last night. In comes Potts and bowls. That's wide outside the off stump. Very poor delivery from Nick Potts. I knew what he was trying to do. Lancashire's highest T20 score. Surely not. 243 here in 2025. I don't even remember that. I blocked that one out of my mind.
It's a blur. It's an absolute blur.
243 for 7. Blimey. In comes Potts again, bowls, and that one is lifted out into the offside. It's been circled by Yusuf Bin Naeem, who takes a really good catch. That one was swirling around, and Bin Naeem takes the catch. Shadab Khan goes. I tell you what.
That's a fantastic catch. That is, with the sun beaming over the county ground and the ball swirling in the air. That's a fantastic catch. You won't get more harder catches than that.
That was horrible, wasn't it? Absolutely horrible.
And I've been really impressed with his fielding as well. Yeah. I think he injects an air of athleticism, intensity, getting to the ball, and I think it sort of reflects onto the other fielders out there. And I think Derbyshire have fielded really well tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it was one facet of the game we were slightly concerned about at the start of the season, where they could hide various players. I mean, bless him, Wayne Madsen's 42, but he still leaps around the outfield. They've got some good fielders out there, but when you're sort of hiding Akif Javid and Sufyan McKean, Potts into the new batter is Jack Blatherwick, who clubs that down the ground out towards Ross Whiteley at long on, and it's the end of the over. 3 for 29 for Nick Potts, 202 for 6 with 1 over to go. Has the damage already been done? 9 off that over, and Akif Javid, the overseas, to bowl the final over. So really good effort there from Nick Potts. Just bowled the 3 overs this evening. 3 overs. 3 for 29, his best bowling figures of the season, and I imagine his best bowling figures in T20 cricket, because he hasn't played an awful lot of T20 cricket. Ben Aitchison will finish with 3 overs for 51. Martin Anderson bowled 2 overs for 33. Akif Javid at the moment has 3 overs, 1 for 34, and is about to bowl the final 6 deliveries of this Lancashire innings. 202 for 6, keep them below 210. He's in. And that one is bowled in. Middle stump, flying out the ground. Excellent start to the over. A big swing by Jack Blatherwick. He goes for 1. And that was all over in a bit of a blur as Akif Javid picks up his 2nd wicket of the match. Jack Blatherwick, that was too quick for him. 202 for 7.
And even though Lancashire are posting a fantastic score here at the county ground, even this last over, you have a quiet last over, the momentum and the shift in momentum can be massive going into Derbyshire's innings as well. So they want to walk off here with chasing under 210, as you said. It will be massive having a quiet over here. It really does affect the chase.
Supporters just treated on the big screen to the sight of the middle stump going cartwheeling back. Here comes Akif Javid again. Bowls him. He's bowled 2 in 2. Hartley, the new batter, too quick for him. Full length delivery. This time it hit middle and leg. Neither stump came out of the ground, but he won't care about that. Hartley goes for a first ball duck, and Akif Javid, who's got 3 wickets, is now on a hat-trick.
Have you ever seen a hat-trick in person whilst commentating?
I don't think so, no. I don't think so.
Even with the amount of years that you've been behind the glass screen?
Subjected to this, no. 202 for 8. Now, I genuinely don't think I have. I wonder how many there have been. They're certainly not going to make their highest score, which was 243 for 7 in 20 hours. Luke Wells, 83, was the big scorer in that. Samit Patel picked up 1 wicket for Martin Anderson, 2 for Zach Chappell, who isn't even playing tonight, Ben Aitchison. Here we go then, hat-trick ball. Akif Javid in and bowls, and had a little flick there, did Tom Aspinwall, and it's a single. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something. He was Martin Aspinwall plays for Wigan Warriors. 203 for 8. He wouldn't be playing. Well, he could play for Lancashire, I suppose. And many rugby league players who played cricket. There were plenty of footballers back in the day, weren't there? But Javed, 3 for 34. Then 3 balls to go. Bowling to Moores. It's a full toss, which is sort of shin high, and he hits it out into the leg side. They're going to come back for the second as well. Moores has to be quick, and is quick, and he picks up 2 more, moves on to 5, 205 for 8 with 2 balls to go.
This has been a fantastic over. Obviously, you've got the 2 wickets that are also 2 dots as well, so it really does make a difference here.
Exactly what Derbyshire needed after a series of punishing overs prior to that.
Who's the happier out of Derbyshire and Lancashire, would you say, Fletch?
Lancashire just, I would say, because they have the power to remove the good batters, don't they? Another bowled. Moores goes this time. He's out for 5. It's 205 for 9 now as Joe Moores is bowled. He's bowled 3 batters in this over as Akif Javed.
I don't think Sir James Anderson will be happy with Joe Moores getting out last ball of the game here. Having to, the penultimate ball of the game.
But notice he's not walked from the dugout, he's walked from the pavilion. He was obviously
getting his bowling boots on, ready to go.
So I don't think he was massively impressed. 4 for 36, clearly his best bowling of the season. Akif Javed, 2 for 31, his best previously, and it means he now has 14 wickets, and I think he's the leading wicket taker for Derbyshire now in the Blast this season.
And with this being a massive game for Derbyshire, having to win, this is where you need your overseas to start performing, and it seems like he's taking the best figures in this campaign at the moment. So hopefully this is the momentum.
It's when you go 9 and over in a. He's gone at, 9 and over. Anything below 10 and over is good in T20 these days, it seems to me. Last ball of the innings then, James Anderson on strike, and he clubs the ball from Akif Javed up towards the bowler's end and falls over. He looks like he might have hurt himself as well, because he turns around and sits down and he's on his back. He's run out for naught, and Lancashire all out for 205. But more concerningly is that Sir James Anderson is on the floor, having slipped on his way to try to get the single off the final ball of the over. He's flexing his right leg. He doesn't look massively comfortable. Wayne Madsen goes across to check if he's all right. Gets a tap on the back, and he doesn't look like he's limping too much, but Anderson out.
He won't want to watch that again, will he?
Well, no.
We just hope for everyone's sake that he's fit.
Well,
not from the Derbyshire side.
Fit for the game after next, I would suggest will be good for Derbyshire.
But take nothing away. That's been a fantastic last over there.
Well, the last over went for just 3 runs, and he picked up 4 wickets. 205 all out Lancashire end with Akif Javed. 4 for 29. Magnificent figures for him. Excellent work in the end. 4 for 36, I beg his pardon. 4 for 36 he's finished with. 3 wickets for Nick Potts as well. He finished with 3 for 29, a wicket apiece for Matthew Montgomery and Sufyan McKean. Ben Aitchison a little expensive with 3 overs for 51. Martin Anderson bowled 2 overs for 33. The standout innings, Ben McDermott looked scratchy but still managed to make 68 off 40. But Shadab Khan, 58 off 22 with 6 fours and 4 sixes, a remarkable innings from him. The throw was Matthew Montgomery's, incidentally, to run out to James Anderson, and in about 10 minutes' time, Derbyshire will require 206 runs to keep their T20 Blast hopes alive.
Dave Fletcher, Greg Gall, thank you very much. Well and over that was to round off proceedings in the first innings here at the County Ground on BBC Radio Derby. Derbyshire will be out soon, just in the change of innings, and we'll be back to bring you ball-by-ball commentary when they do so very shortly. 205 all out is Lancashire's score that Derbyshire need to beat. They need 206 runs to win. Quick maths on Sports Scene tonight. I'll give Fletch and Greg Cork a breather as they make their way out of the commentary box. We're going to reflect on the big story ahead of this match tonight, England and Harry Kane's rescue at the World Cup as they made their way into the last 16 with a 2-1 victory against DR Congo. DR Congo took the lead through Brian Sepenga after only 7
I've said it before. In all honesty, never afraid to recycle material. There was a dot ball as he pushed it out into the offside. Martin Anderson waits now as Sir James bowls to him, and Anderson advances, swings and misses, and it goes through to Matty Hurst. So overall, that wasn't such a bad over. 9 from it, Derbyshire 9 without loss after one. Just 5 off the bat, and those 4 byes. But without 4 byes and a poor piece of fielding, that would have been an excellent. It was a pretty good over from Jimmy Anderson.
You wouldn't expect anything less. He's so good at setting the tone, whether that's with the red ball or even the white ball in hand.
Spin first up from the City end, Tom Hartley. Can we call him a former England spinner yet?
Of course.
Or is he
Played out? Was it India or was it Pakistan that he played?
He played on the subcontinent, but
It may have been India
it seems a
actually.
bit harsh to call anybody who's still playing a 4. I don't think he's announced his international retirement. Anyway, he's going to come in now and bowl around the wicket. It's a full toss, and Aaron Donald clips it away for 6. It just about cleared the fielder on the backward square leg boundary. Ben McDermott, who's a big man, he put a hop in, but it cleared him. I mean, it deserved to be hit for 6. It was a full toss, and then Aaron Donald moves on to 11. Hartley has bowled better deliveries than that. Didn't clear Ben McDermott by much. The camera almost catches it. Good work from the boys and girls on camera. As Hartley's in again, he drops this one short. This one's 6 more. Out towards Cow Corner and lands on the roof of the members' pavilion and driddles back and possibly hits a member on the back of the leg. 6-6 to begin the over.
And this is what you need, this sort of start, especially chasing 200.
Silly now, though.
Absolutely. But you think that hopefully they'll learn from this, but I think there's only one way that Donald plays here, and that's in sports mode. So
Yeah.
hopefully he has a innings similar to like he did against Chesterfield, against Yorkshire at Chesterfield last year.
That'd be nice. Hartley's in this time. It's driven it back, and Hartley gets his fingertips to it. It's going to go down straight to the boundary. That's a poor piece of fielding again. I thought it was a fine piece of fielding to begin with, but it turned out not to be.
Just seems like the outfield's absolutely lightning at the moment. I think Hartley got an actual hand to that, but it just seems like it's absolutely raced away to the boundary, and yeah, you'd expect Long On to do a better job than that.
And I think that's Liam Livingston out there at long on. I'm guessing he might have to say something again in a minute. I've got a real tickle. Hartley, 25 without loss, bowls to Donald, who smashes this away for 4 more.
Absolutely, there's a great shot over extra cover there. If you can all hear Dave, he's just taken a bottle of water. I know the viewers might be a bit concerned, but he's all good. I think he's just a bit excited seeing this power play, and hopefully Derbyshire being able to chase a record-breaking total here.
Eyes are watering and everything. Terrific shot from an Aaron Donald. 6-6-4-4, 25 off 8.
It's not bad going, this isn't.
29 without loss, 20 off the over so far. And we've had 4 deliveries of it.
And we've got the run rate below 10 now, so
Just 177 more to win. Who'd have thought? Yes, well, 29 off 10 balls. Current run rate, 17.5. That will not last. Hartley around the wicket to bowl to Donald, who's he's going to get more runs here. He tried to heave it away into the leg side. He's just taken a single. Now he's coming back for the second. He thought that was going all the way to the boundary, I think. Aspinwall picks it up, came off the bat, and I don't think he could have got 3 anyway, but
he doesn't deal in 2s and 3s. There's only 2 currencies that he deals in.
he bottled that first run. Hartley's in again. He's down the track and he just pushes it up towards Long On for a single. He moves to 28 off 10, 32 without loss at the end of the over. That is a very good over for Derbyshire.
Absolutely, and I think he's good at counting to 6 as well, taking the strike. But you know, sometimes you got to do that, even though Anderson's been in wonderful form in this campaign. If it's your night, take the strike.
Yes, the Knight is going to bowl the second over from the racecourse end. He bowled the first, conceded 9, and was slightly unfortunate to concede 9. That isn't the most expensive over of the match, though. 23 runs off. Honour goes to poor old Ben Aitchison, who brought up his half-century in 3 overs this evening. Anderson on his way in to bowl. He's gone for a little flick round the corner there as an Aaron Donald, and they scamper through for the single as it's fielded by Aspinwall at short fine leg. 33 without loss. Martin Anderson yet to get off the mark, and Aaron Donald 29. 4 byes, and that makes up the total.
If Derbyshire don't lose many wickets in the power play, if any, this will really set up a fantastic chase here for Derbyshire.
Then comes Anderson to bowl to Martin Anderson, who edges this one and is caught, really well caught there at short third man. That's never easy. James Anderson picks up the first wicket. Martin Anderson goes for a duck, and Derbyshire are 32 for 1 at the start of the third over.
Classic commentator's curse again there, saying don't take too many wickets in the power play, but a metre either side of short third man that of Blatherwick down there, and that's 4 runs again, and the momentum stays with Derbyshire. But momentum still with Derbyshire as long as Donald's in.
Yusuf bin Naeem comes out to bat. Gets the big build-up, that's always a concern. 20 off, not very many. 10 balls at Chesterfield. Took a really good catch tonight as well. 33 for 1. First game of T20 cricket for Yusuf here at the OurCoop County Ground. I've had to write it down. I cannot remember the name.
Do you not go to Co-op? I know there's other supermarkets out there, viewers, but
I've got a loyalty card and everything. James Anderson in bowls to bin Naeem, who just pushes this into the offside nicely, gets off the mark. It was a short of a length delivery outside the off stump. Allows the youngster to get off the mark, 34 for 1. It's just such a good sponsorship because it's a cooperative and this is a members club and it all fits, and all of a sudden they've changed the name of the ground halfway through the season. It's completely baffled me. And as people will know, that doesn't take a lot. 34 for 1. Donald, 29 off 11 on strike. Anderson bowls to him. It's short, and I don't think he played the shot he really should have played there. He played it in front of square. And it was comfortably fielded by Keaton Jennings. An extra cover on the edge of the circle. Dot ball.
wickets in hand are going to be key here for Derbyshire, because if you look around the field, and the bowlers and the experience that Lancashire bowlers have got is going to be really difficult in the middle overs with the spin of Hartley, Livingston, Khan.
Anderson bowls, and that one is, they're going through for a quick single as it's pushed out into the offside. Again, it's Keaton Jennings who does the fielding. Doesn't release the ball, so Donald moves on to 30 off 13, pedestrian, 35 for 1.
Who do you think is going to retire from domestic cricket first, Anderson or Madsen?
I think they might go at the same time in a blaze of glory. How about that? It'll be close, won't it? I think it rather depends. I mean, I have no inside information on either of them, but James Anderson, if Lancashire don't get promoted this year, will he carry on? He's in now, bowls to bin Naeem, who just pushes this into the offside very watchfully. And the James Anderson second over comes to an end, just 3 from it. That's the class of the man. 35 for 1 at the end of 3 then. Derbyshire in pursuit of 206.
And you don't get that. Somebody who's dominated red ball cricket for such a long time, coming back and also investing time in playing white ball cricket as well, and just showing his class here. 2 overs in the power play, taking 1 wicket for 8 runs. It's as easy as that.
He's got Matthew Montgomery figures at the moment, hasn't he? Montgomery's figures, incidentally, the 3rd most economical 4-over spell of bowling in Derbyshire's history. The 3rd most economical spell. Aspinwall, the new bowler, bowls, and that's hurt. And Aaron Donald, as he tries to play it round the corner into the leg side, struck him amidships. I've got to try and remember the two names that I was given. Gazanfar has the most economic, and Langeveld.
Charles
Langeveld has the second most economic 4-over spell. That's all David Griffin's work, of course. Always good to nod in the general direction of the great man. This evening we've seen the third most economical spell of bowling from Matthew Montgomery as Aspinwall is in and Donald is going to get 4 runs, possibly 6. It's 6 out towards the extra cover boundary. That's a remarkable shot, by the way. Sort of inside-out drive out towards extra cover. He picks up 6. I've no idea how. He moves on to 36 now, and Derbyshire up to 41 for 1.
You get to the point when you're bowling at somebody so gifted and talented as Donald. Where on earth do you bowl? There's no ground too big for this guy.
Here comes Aspinwall again. Bowls. Yorker misses leg stump. Puff of dust comes up as Donald tries to get bat on ball but fails.
Just seems like that's the only option that they've got at the moment. Just go in the block holes and try and get out the power play as quick as possible. One more wicket here, I think they'll be happy, but I think it's even Stevens at the moment here, Fletch.
I think so. Saw Donald hit that double century at Colwyn Bay in 2016. He waits now. And he's going to be called. Oh, no, he isn't. Has sailed over the field there. I thought that had just looped in the air then. It's gone over Shadab Khan's head. For a moment, it looked, and I don't want anybody to back me up. It might be my mistake, but I thought he'd absolutely clothed it, and it's gone away for 4.
Fletch, I don't agree with you too often, but you're absolutely right there. I think because the fielder was set for the ball to come to him as well, he set his feet, and you just thought he was...
40 to Donald off 17 balls. In comes Aspinwall again, and bowls a full toss down leg side wide. He'll have to bowl that one again. 46 for 1. 19 ball half century for Shadab Khan a little earlier on. So he'll do well to match that, will Aaron Donald, but it's still been a pretty good effort at the top. He scored 16 off 9 against Yorkshire. He's waiting now. Aspinwall bowls, and he's turned that one around the corner. That'll be 4 out towards the deep backward square leg boundary. Derbyshire reach 50, which in T20 cricket isn't perhaps the milestone that a lot of people talk about, but it's still not going to stop them putting all sorts of flashy images all over the scoreboard for no apparent reason.
Now, I know that some teams like to set certain totals throughout the different phases of the chase, so it'd be interesting to see if Derbyshire do in general or want to put down a number for the power play that they feel confident that moving into the second phase.
Here comes
really kick on.
Aspinwall again, bowls wide of the off-stump. He has a swing and a miss at that one, and Aaron Donald, he punches his back because he's disappointed. 15 off the 4th over, Derbyshire 50 for 1 at the same stage. Lancashire were 40 for 1. Small victories.
And Anderson, Sir James Anderson, is carrying on his fantastic spell. I think he wants to try and join Montgomery on his figures.
Well, Monty bowled 4 overs, 1, 2, 3, 4 overs in a row, yeah. 4 of the first 7, and finished with figures of 1 for 12 off 4 overs. James Anderson 1 for 8 off his first 2, and he's bowling to Yusuf bin Naeem, who's lifted him into the leg side and he's caught. Fairly straightforward catch for Ben McDermott. Yusuf bin Naeem goes for 1 off 3, and Derbyshire are 50 for 2. Disappointing end for the young man who batted really nicely on Sunday.
Just shows that Anderson's still got it, whatever format it is. He's so smart. He doesn't even. He's not the quickest or anything like that. He's just smart. He has so many skills that he can go to.
You tethered me to the bottom of your chair for a moment there. I could barely move. Yeah, now Jimmy Anderson's a class act, isn't he? I mean, there's no getting away from it. He is possibly the best modern-day bowler this country's ever seen.
Now that Stokes is out of the Test team, do you think there's a chance of England coming to knock on his door again?
Well, that's an interesting one, isn't it? I hadn't thought of that. I don't think so. I think they've burned their bridges with Sir James. I don't think he'll be holding his hand up, and nor would I. Wayne Madson's the new batter. James Anderson bowls to him, and he pushes it into the offside where it's fielded by Keaton Jennings, and there's no run. So last time Derbyshire chased down a total anywhere near this, Wayne Madsen got a century against Durham off not too many balls.
If Donald can keep batting here for the next 4 or 5 overs, the quicker Derbyshire can get up to 100, it will really put them in a strong position.
And there's some balls driven by Madsen, not too far away from Keaton Jennings, but goes all the way to the boundary for 4. There was a slight moment of panic in the voice there. You might have heard it. There's Wayne Madsen being bowled to by James Anderson. A combined age, it makes me feel good actually, of 85. Remarkable. And they're still two of the best practitioners of their own art as Anderson bowls to Mads, and that one goes straight to the field on the edge of the circle. That's Michael Jones there, I think, fielding at point, just in front point actually. And Derbyshire 54 for 2. 2 men outside the circle at backward point and at square leg. There's Anderson, 2 balls of the overlap, balls to Madsen, who comes down the track at him and just launches him back over his head, down the ground for 4. Dismissive from Wayne Madsen, who, and I wish I'd said it earlier, I thought on Sunday looked as comfortable out in the middle as he's looked all season in the blast, because he's had a reasonably low scoring blast. He had 100 runs in the first 6 matches and got 62 off 33 against Yorkshire at Chesterfield. He spoke to us at the end and he said he felt comfortable out there. He's on 8, 58 for 2 Derbyshire as we approach the final ball of the 5th over of their pursuit of 206. In goes Anderson and bowls to Madsen, who waits for a slower ball but can't wait long enough and mistimes the ball out into the offside. 58 for 2 at the end of the third. Sir James Anderson, it's not tricky, is it? Third Sir James Anderson over. He's got 2 for 16, so unless he picks up a wicket in his final over, Matthew Montgomery wins that little duel.
And if Derbyshire are only 2 wickets down in the power play, who wins the overall match?
Well, by the rule of losing 3 wickets in the power play, Derbyshire win the game, but it's not going to be easy, is it? Tom Aspinwall, who conceded 15 off his first over, bowls to Nyron Donald, turns this one round the corner, down the big backward square leg, and he goes for 4. The fielder running round the boundary there, Jack Blatherwick, couldn't get to it, put in the dive, but couldn't quite make it. And a good start to the final over of the power play. After 5 overs, Lancashire were 41 for 2, Derbyshire 58 for 2. There were a couple of big overs, though, that you have to factor in. 19 off Martin Anderson's in the 10th over, 19 off Akif Javid in 16, then 24 off Ben Aitchison on the 17th over, as Aspinwall bowls a full delivery, driven into the offside. Nicely half stop there, and they will come through for a quick single. It's Michael Jones diving to his left-hand side on a practice wicket there.
Never nice when you're going to have to dive on a hard wicket, but you know you've got to do it or else you look like a right plonker.
Well, if he'd let that through, I don't think the rest of the Lancashire team would have been very impressed. It shows good commitment from the Ormskirk Scot.
Question of the night for you, Dave.
Oh, no.
How many games...
Hang on. Here's Aspinwall in to bowl to Madsen, who makes room for himself and is bowled. Stepped into the leg side. We probably dismiss that question now as well, because Wayne Madsen's gone, and that is a big blow from a Derbyshire perspective. He looked comfortable again at Chesterfield on Sunday, but Aspinwall, a full delivery. He goes for 8 off 6, Wayne Madsen, and Derbyshire 63 for 3.
And they're the 3 wickets in the power play, so even Stevens at the moment, but does Donald change the way he plays now, Dave, in your eyes, or
Do you want what I think he should do or what I think he will do?
both? The viewers are asking for both.
I don't think the listeners are asking for anything. I don't think he will. He perhaps should tone it down a bit, but I don't think he will. And who am I to criticise a man who's scored as many runs in the last couple of years as he has?
But due to the importance of this game, Dave, do you think he needs to take the way he plays and just ease up a little bit?
Matthew Montgomery's clipped the ball into the leg side, has been dropped. First ball he faces, he has been dropped by Ben McDermott. He's down on one knee at the moment. We will get a replay of that one. He clipped it into the leg side, he's dropped it. He should have got there. I think it's hit his wrists, actually. He's gone too far.
And you'd expect him to take that being a keeper as well.
Yes. Perhaps he thought perhaps he put a pair of gloves on him. 63 for 3. Aspinwall in to bowl to Montgomery, who this time just guides the ball down towards backward point for a single. Joe Moores is fielding down there, so Montgomery is off the mark. 64 for 3.
In my opinion, I think Donald just needs to ease up a little bit here and bat as deep as possible. He's still going to be able to hit the bad balls, but does he want to keep on taking the high-risk shots? I think the team comes first here.
This is the final ball of the power play. 64 for 3. Aspinwall from the city end bowling to an Aaron Donald, who drives down the ground and beats the fielder at mid-on and picks up his half-century of 22 balls. Moves on to 53. Derbyshire to 68 for 3 at the end of the power play. 10 runs off that over. Lancashire's power play was 45 for 3. Derbyshire have the advantage. Same number of wickets lost. When both sides lose 3 wickets, I have no idea what happens in a power play, and that's what's happened today. So all bets are off as far as that's concerned. But yeah, 22 ball half century for Aaron Donald, pedestrian by his standards, as Jack Blatherwick comes on to bowl from the racecourse end. Not a bad half century though for 22 balls. What's your quickest? I'm going to start asking the questions now.
Not that quick. Not that quick at all.
I didn't see you play much, I have to say.
Is that because I wasn't selected or you weren't around?
Well, I was around. Here's Blatherwick bowling to Montgomery, who just guides this one down towards third man for a single. It was at the very start of my time covering Derbyshire when you were in and around, so I didn't really see much of you.
That's a better answer,
I don't think I ever interviewed you, if I'm entirely honest, did I?
I would have put you out of job.
It knocked me off air. 69 for 3. The voice of Greg Cork on BBC Radio Derby.
Now, this is a fantastic opportunity to keep on knocking it into the gaps now. Run the twos hard, hit the bad ball.
Swinging down towards deep backward square leg. There's no knocking it into a gap. There's a misfield down there in the distance as well. And they're going to come back for the second. I think it's Aspinwall. Couldn't pick it up cleanly. It is. And Aaron Donald gets back for a second. He moves on to 55 off 23. Does that count as knocking it into the gaps and running the twos? Is that all right?
They ran hard, there was a misfield, and they came back for the two. So they just need to keep on doing that, running the field.
It's in the air for a long, long time. Blatherwick is in and bowls to Donald, who that comes off a pad down towards fine leg. They'll pick up a leg by Donald to stay on 55, and Derbyshire will move up to 72 for 3. They need a further 134 runs to win at 9.9 and over. The current rate is 11.1.
I think if they can keep 2 as close to 10 and over as possible, they need a big partnership now.
Montgomery waits and then pulls a short ball into the leg side. The fielder comes in. What a catch that is, by the way. That is a really good catch from Joe Moores, running in off the boundary. Montgomery goes now Derbyshire lose a 4th wicket. Moores is mobbed by his teammates, and I'm not surprised. That was a terrific catch. He had to dive forward to take it there. Never easy, and Derbyshire are 72 for 4.
It looked like Montgomery hit it better than he actually thought, but absolutely fantastic catch. They're always difficult. He had to jump, full length dive forward, and the ball was coming at some good pace. But that's just frustrating, that is. He could have just hit it downwards onto the ground, and he could have just rotated the strike there, but it just puts further pressure. Them 2 back-to-back 100-run partnerships could be match-winning partnerships. This is what Derbyshire need to take into this situation right now. And it's going to be interesting to see how Donald plays now, because he really needs to be there right at the end to give Derbyshire the best possible chance of chasing down this huge target. If he goes, I feel like that's going to be game, set and match, Dave.
Well, he's been joined by Ross Whiteley, who isn't exactly a shrinking violet when it comes to hitting the ball. He pushes his first delivery from Blytherwick out into the offside and gets off the mark with a single. Can be a slow starter. Made 74 not out in the first match. Got a half century down at Essex. No, he didn't. That's Montgomery. He made 45 in the first match. That's his highest score so far this season. 36 from 20 on Sunday against Yorkshire.
You did say McDermott was a slow starter as well, and look what happened. So
similar kind of players, I would say. Donald waits as Blytherwick is in to bowl the final ball of his over. Slower delivery, turned around the corner. Donald will keep the strike. There's been another misfield down there, although he gets away with it this time, Aspinwall, because the ball comes up off his right hand and lands in his left. Donald 56, Whiteley 1, 74 for 4 after 7 overs. And of course, Lancashire didn't lose their 4th wicket until the 14th over, which was important as that big partnership between Ben McDermott and Matty Hurst.
No, if this is not a big partnership between these two, Derbyshire lose, unfortunately, because they haven't really got the depth that Lancashire have got.
No, that is absolutely true.
They need to be really sensible now, even though it's not in neither Donald nor Whiteley's nature to tap it around, rotate the strike, hit the bad balls. They've got to do that for the team here.
Liam Livingston on to bowl. That one is pulled into the leg side for just a single again. It's in the air for a long time off an Aaron Donald's bat. Livingston with the ability to bowl off spin and leg spin, depending on whether it's the right-hander or the left-hander. I'd love to be able to tell you what he's bowling. If he's going to bowl leg spin, he'll bowl it to Donald. If he's going to bowl off spin, he'll bowl it to... This chair's falling apart. We bowl it to Ross Whiteley, who's on strike now. First delivery, he waits for it and he cuts it into the offside in front of square, and there's no run. 75 for 4 it remains. Derbyshire a long way behind Duckworth Lewis now, as that one is turned into the leg side off a pad, leg by. 76 for 4. Duckworth Lewis suggests that they ought to be closer to 90 than 76 at this stage, but that's because they're 4 wickets down. That's how Duckworth Lewis Stern works. The more wickets you lose, the tougher it is. As in comes Livingston again and bowls. That one's lifted high into the leg side. 2 fielders run around and neither of them can get there, and it goes for 6. Over the rope, yep. Signal from the fielder. That's good from Ben McDermott out there on the mid-wicket boundary, and an Aaron Donald gets another one.
I don't think they're going to listen to us, are they, Dave?
No, absolutely not.
Going to play.
I think we're going to be sitting on the edge of our seat for the entirety of this innings. That cleared the boundary rope by about a yard and a half, I would say. Donald moves on to 63 off 27. Derbyshire up to 82 for 4. Still to come batting wise, Amit Basra, who's got no kind of form at all, really, this season. Nick Potts, Ben Aitchison. Did he let go? He didn't let go, did he?
he saw that Donald walked across the stumps and he just wanted to double bluff him.
No, that's Tom Hartley behaviour, that, I'm afraid.
You're not a fan of that, Dave?
Not a fan of that at all. Bowl the ball, son. Livingston in. This one is a full delivery. He tries to stop it with his foot, Livingston, and fails to do so. And Donald will pick up a single and move on to 64-83 for 4. But I just upset the entirety of the Lancashire listeners who will be listening in if they're watching the stream, I'm sure. Livingston in. Whiteley waits, pushes it out to the offside. Another single is taken. And Liam Livingston's first over comes to an end, and it cost him 9. 83 for 4 after 8 overs then.
Did you see that Livingston got called up to the Red Bull team and got 5 wickets in his first game?
Played at Chesterfield as well. Yeah, played at Chesterfield as well. I think they've got some injuries, Red Bull cricket-wise, Lancashire, so he held his hand up and said, I'll have a go. Hadn't played first-class cricket for a long time.
And then rocks up and takes five wickets. It's as easy as that.
It was either at Southport or Blackpool. I can't remember which way round those 2 games were. Jack Blatherwick, whose first over went for just 6. He's in from the racecourse end, and he's pulled into the leg side. That's violent. 1 bounce, 4 from Ross Whiteley. Straight arms and a big hit from Ross Whiteley. They're not going to just knock it around and take 2s.
We get so excited. They take us to that cliff edge, and then a lot of the time they get out. But hopefully this is a night. Hopefully this is a night.
We're teetering over that cliff edge at the moment, aren't we, really? From a Derbyshire perspective. But that was hit very hard by Ross Whiteley. He moves on to 688 for 4. 206 the target, remember. Blatherwick on his way in again. Ross Whiteley's lifted this out towards the deep backward square leg boundary and over the head of the fielder down there for 6. Only just over the head of the fielder for 6. He's taken 10 off the first 2 balls, and then Aaron Donald goes down and says, calm down, son. Or keep going. One or the other. It certainly won't be knock the next one for 1 and we'll swap ends.
What we've got to realise is as well, they've got Tom Hartley up their sleeves, and also they've got Khan as well to bowl.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I know that Hartley bowled 1 for a pretty expensive over, but still international class.
Oh, that one's hit straight to Michael Jones by Ross Whiteley. Jones then has a shot at the stumps as and Aaron Donald has to scramble back into his ground. Again, that was in the air for a long time. Ross Whiteley always has too much respect for grass. He doesn't like the ball to go across it, does he? Ross.
There's no fielders in the air, Dave. I think that's his mindset.
94 for 4, halfway through Blatherwick's second over. So far, it's gone for 11 runs.
I'll ask you that question after this ball.
Oh, no. Blatherwick in to Whiteley, who cuts, and there is a fielder out there. It's Moores, who's done very well out on the cover boundary. Whiteley moves on to 13, 95 for 4. What? People are actually sending questions in, or are you...
This is a chat GPT question.
No, we don't do those.
Collectively, how many games has Wayne Madsen and Sir James Anderson played together?
Well, if you add all their games up in all forms of cricket?
Yes.
Okay. Blatherwick in and bowls. That's down the leg side and will be signalled wide. 96 for 4. I reckon it's got to be close to 1,000, hasn't it? Higher than 1,000. Yeah. 1,500. Good heavens above. Which one's which of those two? 790 and 783. Who's got the 790? Come on, there's no point in having the information and not...
Can you use a just hold fire?
Just hold fire? Here's Blatherwick. 96 for 4, Derbyshire. In to bowl to Donald, who heaves this into the leg side. There's a fielder there, but he can't stop it from going for 4. For a moment, as Hartley stuck out his hands, it looked as though he might get it. But no, you see, no, I'm not having it now. Wayne Madsen, about 790 senior matches. What's about?
It's there or thereabouts.
No.
They didn't have stats and chat GPT when these two started out in their career.
They had stats. They just didn't have chat GPT, and nor should we have it. I'll have no more of that nonsense from you, Mr. Cork. Thank you very much. 100 up for Derbyshire, 100 for 4. Donald on to 68. Blatherwick in. Donald heaves this into the leg side. That's 4 more. Out to Cow Corner. 104 for 4 at the end of the over. 21 runs off it. An expensive one from Jack Blatherwick at the same stage after 9 overs. Lancashire was 63 for 3. They're 40 runs in front, but they have lost 1 wicket more.
Donald holds the key here for Derbyshire's win. This is going to be a tough test now. Overseas, Khan on. All the experience he brings. Lancashire need him to get Donald out.
I was going to ask you how many games he'd played, but we can't be guaranteed it will be the right number, so I shan't bother.
It's all subjective, isn't it?
No, number of games. No, how can that be subjective? Number of games is number of games. Greg, come on, you're better than that. The 6th bowler used by Lancashire then, Shadab Khan. 104 for 4, Derbyshire is bowling to Ross Whiteley from the City end, drops it short down the leg side, and Whiteley says, thanks very much, I'll pick up 4 down the deep backward square leg.
This could be the night that Donald raises his bat and gets to 3 figures.
Oh, no, what are you doing?
One's got to pay off, surely.
No.
You can't all go the wrong way.
Never ever say it. You will.
I'm still a student of this game, Dave.
You've been doing this long enough now, Greg. Come on. Shadab into Ross Whiteley. Just pushes it into the leg side. There might be 2 here, you know. They run the first one really quickly. They're not going to come back for the second. I think that's probably wise. Moores gets there. And Whiteley moves on to 18 off 10. 109 for 4 in pursuit of 206. So 97 to win. The required rate is a tick over 9. The current run rate is not too far below 12. Cut-off time 9:46. So plenty of time for Lancashire to get their overs in here. We're approaching the halfway stage of the Derbyshire innings. And Aaron Donald on 72 off 30 on strike. Shadab Khan in and bowls through, and he gets that off the toe end of the bat out towards square leg and picks up a single. That might be the little bit of luck he needs to break the curse of Greg Cork. Somebody's just sent me a message saying, I can't believe he said that. I'll show you later who it was. 110 for 4. Shadab in. Whiteley pulls it in front of square. It'd just be the one. He moves to 19, 111 for 4. 7 runs off the Shadab Khan over so far with 2 balls to come. 206 the target. It will be a record run chase for Derbyshire on this ground. Possibly anywhere. I should have asked him that really, Griff. Shadab's in. Donald 2 steps down the track and onto the roof of the members' pavilion. Not quite, actually. It dropped short of the members' pavilion.
Told you, one's got to come our way. One has got to come our way, Dave.
Look,
Tonight is the night.
Greg, take his microphone off him, Dom, immediately. Switch him off. I'm not having it. I don't believe in all that nonsense, but I'm not having it.
You're not a superstitious man, are you, Dave?
Not at all. Not at all. Give me a ladder and I'll walk straight underneath it. 117 for 4. Donald on to 79 off 32. Shadab Khan in and bowls. Oh, it's a short ball outside the off stump. It's bashed down the ground, but just for a single. He had to reach for that a bit, did the Derbyshire skipper.
You can do it in 4 balls now.
No, I can't repeat that word. 118 for 4, 14 off the first Shadab Khan over. But you're right, these 2 hold the key when you look at what's to come. Amrit Basra, he got 11 off 3 balls, that's his highest score, and he hasn't, in the first block of 4 matches, he barely batted at all. Since then, 7 off 14, 15 off 11, 7 off 5.
It's them 2 partnerships that Lancashire put together in their middle overs that could be the pivotal point for this within this game ultimately. So these guys need to put a very big partnership on together. Donald will keep going the way that he's going. He's not listening to us, so let him be.
He never will. He never will. It's Liam Livingston back now from the racecourse end. Bowled first over for 9. Bowls 2. Oh, Donald, who gets a full toss and deposits it over the marquee away to our right. Brilliant shot. And
Who's that person that texted in? Who is he?
I don't read personal text. I don't read personal text out. That was some shot though. 124 for 4. Donald on to 86. Blimey, that went an awful long way. That was.
And that was a low full toss as well, which are 9 times out of 10 extremely difficult to hit as well. But it seems like he hit that over the
Nye wants a drink.
marquee.
Get him what he wants. This is his highest score in T20 cricket. Previous high score of 85. Which must,
You're predicting stuff now,
must have
Fletch.
been less. I'm not predicting anything. That's a stonewall fact.
Is that not ChatGPT?
No.
Crick info.
Yes, which is much more reliable than some bot that collects information from all sorts of sources and can't come up with the right answer. We need a new ball. That one went so far beyond the marquee away to our right that it's lost. So umpire Richard Kettleborough takes a new ball out of the box of balls.
What happens to all the spare balls, do you reckon, Dave, at the end of the year? Do you think they just recycle them, or what do you reckon happens?
They use the same manufacturer for the following season that you can keep them, can't you? But if they change manufacturer, those balls will be used for practice or range hitting. That can be far more useful for the batters to use them than the bowlers, wouldn't it? Because obviously you get the feel of the ball in your hand and all the rest of it as a bowler. Liam Livingston won't be bowling another full toss. I think we can guarantee that. 7 deliveries he's bowled, 15 runs he's gone for, 124 for 4, but he's had a pretty good few weeks, Liam Livingston, for Lancashire. He's in now to an Aaron Donald. Bowls to him and he sweeps, slog sweeps, but without the slog. And he picks up a single as it's fielded by Aspinwall, 125 for 4. Donald moves on to 87, didn't make particularly good contact with it. 50 partnership came up with that 6 as well, incidentally, off 21 deliveries.
Do you think he knows this is his high score so far?
Oh, I'd be staggered if he didn't. As Ross Whiteley just pushes the next delivery back to Livingston. Batters tend to know, don't they?
They're good at counting to 6 and they know what the top scores are.
He's on 87 from 35. Ross Whiteley has a swing and a miss at this one outside the off stump. So another dot ball.
Ross doesn't need to panic here because it's already been a pretty big over so far. So
The required rate's down to 8.7 now. As Livingston bowls, that one is pushed up towards long on. Michael Jones will come in off the boundary to do the fielding. It's now 80 off 55 balls with 6 wickets in hand. 8 runs off the over so far.
whose camp would you want to be in right now, Dave?
With these two in the middle, Derbyshire's, but they are so important. Down the track comes Donald. He's launched that into the leg side. It's not going to reach the boundary. Oh, it's been dropped out there on the boundary. He gets a lifer there, and Donald, as Joe Moores, who took an absolutely spectacular catch to get rid of Matthew Montgomery, drops a relatively straightforward one as the over ends. 127 for 4, a life for an Aaron Donald. 9 runs off the 11th over. At the same stage, Lancashire were 95 for 3. Not much in it because they've got an extra wicket of Lancashire. But at Aaron Donald, well, you don't want to be giving him many lives.
No, that could be a massive moment within this game. It's never nice seeing people drop catches, but that could be massive for Derbyshire and the outcome of this game.
Shadab Khan, City End, bowling to Donald, who has he been caught behind? He has. He went for the drive and he's gone. And Aaron Donald got a single and got a life off the previous ball, the final ball of the Livingston over. And an Aaron Donald has been dismissed, and that could be a very, very big moment. He goes for 88 off 37 at Derbyshire, 127 for 5.
Moores will be a very relieved man there. Didn't cost the team anything at all there.
It's another superb innings from an Aaron Donald, high score in T20 cricket, but 127 for 5, and Derbyshire slightly up against it here. Matty Hurst, of course, taking the catch behind the stumps, and Shadab Khan with his first wicket of the match. Now Amrit Basra, time to shine. Yes, is the answer to the question I've just been asked silently. 88 off 37 balls, and Aaron Donald's high score in T20 cricket. Shadab Khan into bowl to Amrit Basra, who goes back and cuts the ball in front of square, a long way in front of square actually, and they take a single. These two don't need to panic now either.
Absolutely, I was just going to say that, Dave. Donald and Whiteley's put them in a really good position now. 9 and over is absolutely fine, especially at this level, but they need to take it deep. One more wicket and you're into the likes of Potts, Aitchison, Javed, etc., etc. So
Potts, he can bat, can't he? He can bat, the lad. Here's Whiteley. Gets one on leg stump, turns it around to short fine leg. James Anderson hurls the ball in, but they get through for the single.
And this is massive for Basra as well. You know, there's a lot of question marks about his form at the moment. We know he's got the talent there. He just needs to use his IQ now and just tap it around, get Whiteley on strike, get used to the pace.
He waits for Shadab Khan to bowl. He pushes that into the onside, and it's a dot ball. Yeah, he doesn't, but again, it's that don't do anything silly. The 11 not out off 3 balls against Leicestershire, he went out with pretty much 3 balls to go in the innings and tunked a couple towards the boundary, but Shadab Khan bowls full delivery. He's played this one out into the leg side. It's gone a long way. It's gone for 6. Well, Amrit Basra's not going to hang around either. 135 for 5 as Amrit Basra smashes the ball out to mid-wicket for 6. Good contact with the balls. 2 fielders out there, but it went in between the 2 of them. It's been shown a replay on the big screen of that. It's a glorious hit. And clears the boundary route by some considerable distance. 135 for 5. Basra on to 7, 71 to win. But 5 down. Basra's pulled this now. Then there's a fielder out there, straight down his throat, and he's gone. And that's the danger. Amrit Basra goes for 7 off 4 balls. That's not the kind of innings that's required, or that was required at that particular moment. And Shadab Khan picks up 2 wickets in and over. Derbyshire 135 for 6.
The thing is, they were there or thereabouts in this over with the run rate. They were there or thereabouts. And they've already won the over. If you can, you know there's going to be a bad over coming up later on in the innings. I don't understand. He's already hit a 6. He's already got a single. I don't understand why he's played that shot. He's playing. He's facing an international bowler. He's a leg spinner. He's hitting it against a spin. It's quite a large leg side boundary as well. And he could have thrown away his opportunity there to play in the next game if they don't do well there. So really, really disappointing.
Yeah, it's not the cleverest innings that we've seen this season for anybody by a long way. It was the final ball of the over as well. 135 for 6. Liam Livingston to continue bowling to Ross Whiteley, who gets one down the leg side, tries to swing it away, hits some part of his body, obviously, because it's not given as a wide. It remains 135 for 6. He bowls to Whiteley, just turns it into the leg side and picks up a single. There were 8 runs off that previous over, but 2 wickets falling.
And this is the frustrating thing about Derbyshire. Them big 2 partnerships, Lancashire are really in the dirt there in the power play early on, losing 3 or 4 wickets.
Livingston bowls and Potts plays it back to him on the bounce.
And it just seems like they can't build a partnership. They need to keep on going. But sometimes the bowling team bowls well.
Potts gets one on leg stump, clips it into the leg side and gets off the mark. with a single, 137 for 6.
You just need to reassess as a batting unit. You can't keep on going in one particular gear. You need to hold fire. You know, this run rate is absolutely fine. It's controllable, it's chaseable, but losing wickets absolutely kills this chase.
Yeah, as Whiteley picks up another single, pushing the ball down to long off. He moves on to 23 off 18, 138 for 6, the required rate 9.5, 68 runs to win from 43 deliveries. Potts waits and often tries to swing this one into the leg side, floods into his pads, and it's a really good, quiet over of 3 runs, 138 for 6 from Liam Livingston. Job done as far as he's concerned. Derbyshire is sort of having to rebuild. Gary Hickenbottom says it's looking tight, but still doable with Ross in there. Yep, well, you're right, Gary, but the way Ross bats, we've seen some spectacular innings from him in his first spell, and since he returned to the club, it's going to be another spectacular one to get Derbyshire over the line from here. 68 from 42 balls. Derbyshire need. Ross Whiteley, 18 balls for his 23. Shadab Khan to continue, 2 for 22 from his 2 overs. And he's in to bowl to Whiteley, who clips that into the leg side. It needs to go all the way, and it does. Just about clear the rope. Now then, Tom Hartley's there. He doesn't know, or says he doesn't. Oh, and they're giving it as a 4, the fielders out there. That's interesting. I'd like to see a replay of that. We're going to see one. Keep your eyes on this. It's the wrong side for the camera crew, unfortunately. It looks like 6 to me, but they've given it as 4, so they have to take the fielder's word for it. Tom Hartley didn't look like he wanted to signal anything. There's a swing and a miss at that one from Ross Whiteley, who's on 27 now, 142 for 6.
The thing is now he's hit his boundary early on in an over. Now he just needs to get off strike, rotate the strike, let Potts get his eye in. But these wickets are really putting pressure on Ross.
He waits as Shadab Khan bowls to him, and he pulls the ball straight into the hands of Shadab Khan on the bounce. That's a little unfortunate. Perhaps he's trying to hit that one a bit too hard. Tap it into that leg side. There's acres of space in the leg side. There are 3 fielders fielding at either point, backward point, or short third man. And he's swung at that one. There's an appeal. Ross wants Whiteley wants a leg by. Nick Potts isn't interested. 142 for 6 it remains.
He still needs to show the intention, or have the intent of rotating the strike. The run rate is now gone up to 10s now.
Doesn't take long for it to shoot up, does it? Now he's swept and he's out to a fielder, isn't it? Now this one is 4. I'll give them that because it bounced a long way inside the rope. It was another slog sweep from a long way outside the off stump, it seemed, from our vantage point, which is sort of at fine leg to the left-hander. And it managed to split the fielders out there on the leg side boundary. Whiteley has picked up a couple of boundaries in this over, 146 for 6 with 1 ball to go. And if you look at Douglas Lewis, they're almost level, which is a good effort considering they're 6 down. Shadab Khan in and bowls to Whiteley, who chops it into the offside. They're thinking of 2 here. Well, Whiteley was initially, then he said, I know, I'll take it. So the over comes to an end at 147 for 6, 9 runs from it, a couple of boundaries.
They're there or thereabouts with the run rate.
Yeah.
He had to take two risks, but he's backed himself, so...
Liam Livingston looks like he's going to continue from the race course, and it'll be his final over. Shadab Khan has got 1 left as well, and it's Tom Hartley, whose 1 over went for 23 as the spin option. 1 over from James Anderson left, 2 from Aston Wall and 2 from Blatherwick. So they're the options for Keaton Jennings, the Lancashire Lightning skipper. Here is Livingston around the wicket, bowls wide, and given as wide of the off stump. He sort of almost fell towards it there, Ross Whiteley. 1 more to the total, 148 for 6. Next delivery launched high into the sky. Now then, is the fielder underneath this one? No, it's cleared him out towards long on for 6. I wasn't sure. Greg Cork knew it had gone for 6 the moment it left the bat.
So that's 7 already off the over, Dave. There's only been one legitimate ball as well. So he either thinks, right, this is the big over that's going to get us in front of them, or we've already won the over near enough. Let's get into the next over.
It's a full toss outside off stump. They're going to go through for a quick single. That's good work. Oh, there's a shot at the stumps from Liam Livingston after Ross Whiteley had gone past the stumps for some reason. They're a little frustrated, perhaps.
Well, sometimes as well, the bowlers do that just to soften the ball up as well.
Good shout. Yeah. No, I hadn't really spotted that. 155 for 6. You'd have thought I'd got used to that kind of thing, wouldn't you? Now he bowls to Potts, who struck on the pad. He went for a bit of a cross the line shot.
But Potts needs to realise now he doesn't need to
stay out there.
He doesn't need to hit the boundary balls. Let Ross do that. That's why Derbyshire employed him.
Well, he's hit this uppishly into the leg side as Potts. He's only going to get a single for it. He moves on to 2 off 5, 156 for 6 with 2 balls to come in the final over from Liam Livingston. 50 off 32 is the equation now, which isn't.
You've always got to realise and always got to believe that there's going to be a big over somewhere. There's going to be a big over.
Just about getting the man at square leg inside the boundary, inside the 30-yard circle, but that doesn't matter because Ross Whiteley has just launched Liam Livingston down the ground, out over long off for an enormous 6.
He didn't even look like he got hold of that.
Not at all.
But this could be the big over that really puts Derbyshire on the front foot. They just need to be smart about it now.
Well, there's 1 ball to come, isn't there? According to my memory. Yeah, 1 ball to come. 162 for 6. They've now moved almost 10 ahead of Duckworth Lewis in the blink of an eye. Whiteley on strike. Needs a single here to get back on strike. It's a really slow delivery from Livingston. And they just trot through for a single. Really nice batting there from Ross Whiteley. 163 for 6. 16 off that Liam Livingston over. Over number 15 at the same stage. After 15 overs, Lancashire were 137 for 4. But we did have that Ben Aitchison over number 17, which was the big one. 24 runs coming from it. Goes on to a list I know is kept by David Griffin on his database of overs who go for 24 runs or more in an over. And there's Freddie the Falcon. He looks like he's had a bit of a refurb down below us. Looking very dapper. Not going to win any mascot races looking like that, though. 163 for 6. And it's Tom Aspinwall returning. He's bowled 2 overs, taken 1 for 25. Bowling from the City end and initially bowling to Ross Whiteley, who's on 46 off 28. The partnership 28 off 18. And Aspinwall is in. Full delivery, bowls him. Knocks him off his feet almost. Terrific delivery from Aspinwall. Full, straight, into the base of leg stump. And Whiteley goes, and with him, possibly Derbyshire's hopes of qualification in the T20 Blast. He goes for 46. Derbyshire 163 for 7.
It doesn't matter who you're bowling at there. That's the best ball that you can bowl in a T20. And he's executed that. Whiteley's got his eye in. And it's even got past his defence. So, as you said, it seems like Derbyshire are on the verge of losing this now.
I'm afraid so. Knockout cricket is what Wayne Madsen called it. From here on in, he gets a good hand as Ross Whiteley. Quite right too for his 46 off 29, but that really does feel like a terminal blow that has been struck by Aspinwall. Really fine delivery, right at the base of middle stump.
Do you think Donald will take his word back at the top of the match after what he said about Lancashire?
There used to be. Aspinwall bowls and Aitchison off the mark straight away out to Hartley at backward point. First class Centurion, of course, Ben Aitchison. In fact, these two were the 2 night watchmen in that game against Middlesex. Potts came out first, and then Aitchison followed him.
What are your thoughts on night watchman?
I don't mind them. I don't mind them. I know there's a lot of people think they're pointless, but Potts waits, Aspinwall bowls, it's driven down the ground for a single. The run rate required is 9 and over, so it's still not alarming, even at this point. 41 off 27, 165 for 7. The problem is the for 7. Akif Javed and Sufyan Makeem, the only batters still to come. In comes Aspinwall, bowls. That one is driven straight to Hartley. The batters almost meet halfway, and then they end up back at the ends they started. 41 off 26. Another valiant defeat for Derbyshire on the cards here, it would seem. 165 used to be pretty much their average kind of total in T20 cricket. There are still 4 overs to go after this one from Aspinwall, who bowls full. It's driven back to him and he stops it really well, diving to his left-hand side. And there's no run.
Seems like Lancashire go to him right at the end. He seems like he can really execute them Yorkers, and it just showed with his first ball. Didn't need any warm-up at all, just hit the block hole and reap the rewards.
It was a really good, that's a good point, a really good ball, first ball of the over as well, isn't it? When you just waiting to get back to the pace of the bowler. Last ball of his third over, then Aspinwall bowls to Aitchison. It's a full toss. Pushes it out into the offside. They're going through for a single. If that had hit the throw from Aspinwall, Potts would be walking back to the pavilion. It didn't. So Aitchison moves on to 2. Potts has 3. 166 for 7. 3 runs and a wicket off that over after 16 overs. Lancashire were 156 for 4. Derbyshire 166 for 7. And Shadab Khan is about to bowl his final over.
And it just shows as well, Lancashire still have Hartley to bowl if needed. Somebody at an international level, and also as well Anderson. You got four overs from 2 international or ex-international, one ex and one
Future.
who could.
His Shadab Khan bowls to Aitchison, who thumps it down the ground. It's fairly straight, but there is a fielder down there at long off. It's Liam Livingston. And they go through for a single, 167 for 7. They're now behind the Duckworth-Lewis Stern par score. It's not going to rain, by the way, as Shadab Khan is in, and that's a wide ball outside the off stump, and it's too wide, and Derbyshire get another run, 168 for 7. At least they had the good grace not to play the whack noise, seeing as Derbyshire are very much behind at the moment. Potts waits for this one and slaps it out into the offside. I thought it was going to beat the fielder. If it had beaten the fielder on the edge of the circle, I think that's Ben McDermott, it would have gone for 4, but he put the dive in and stopped it one-handed, parried it, kept them down to a single, 169 for 7. 4 to Potts, 3 to Aitchison. 37 off 22 is the equation now, as Shadab is in to bowl to Aitchison, who flays it into the leg side, possibly off the inner half of his bat there. He moves on to 4, 170 up, 170 for 7.
Even in this situation, take it to the last over, you just never know.
Absolutely.
There's still a lot of balls here in this innings.
Next delivery is, it's high in the sky. Now then, he might be in trouble here, or is it going to go over the rope? It's going to go over the rope. It's going to clear the rope, actually, by some distance from Nick Potts. That went a long way up, and he just about, it's cleared the rope by about 5 yards.
He knows his own strengths, and he knows the length of
fair play.
This boundary.
I thought when that left his bat, it was too high. It was towards the bottom end of the bat. I think it's fair to say that, Paul, but goes all the way for 6, 176 for 7. Shadab Khan not happy with his run up there, so he stops and turns around. They need 30 from 20 balls. Shadab is in again to bowl to Potts, who plays that out into the offside, and they'll get a single.
Well, that's absolutely fine there. Absolutely fine. If you keep the run rate around the 9 mark.
29 off 19. Shadab is in again. Bowling to Aitchison. Oh, he's launched that down the ground. He's going to be caught here by Jones, I fancy he is. Michael Jones takes the catch. Aitchison goes for 4. Derbyshire 177 for 8. And that's going to make it very difficult to win from here. 4 from 7 for Ben Aitchison. Disappointing in the end from him. Comfortable catch in the end for Michael Jones, and another wicket for Shadab Khan.
He just did not need to do that all, Dave. They already won the over. Get out of the over and get into the next over. It's extremely frustrating that, because they have a chance of winning this. But if they keep on thinking, we keep on going, then 9 times out of 10, they're not going to win many games. And how many frustrating games have opposition won, even in this situation? You know, you look at the Yorkshire game at Headingley.
Well, I can count 3 this season and a tie. This will be 4.
They get themselves so close.
Yeah.
They get themselves so close, but it's the back end, it's the awareness, it's the intelligence, it's the cricket IQ that I think Mickey is needing this bottom order to sort of assess the situation.
Here's Aspinwall, bowls, and it strikes Nick Potts. Sufyan Makim is the new batter, but he's at the non-strikers end. 177 for 8, so 11 runs off that Shadab Khan over, and a wicket. There was no need for the wicket, as Greg Cork says. 29 off 17. Shadab Khan is finished now, 4 overs, 3 for 42. And Aspinwall is on his way in to bowl to Potts, who drives over the head of the man on the edge of the circle, Michael Jones, at mid-off, and for 4. The boy can bat. There's no question about it. Nick Potts can bat.
He's been really impressive with the ball and with the bat as well. I've been really impressed with how he's gone about his business. He's not the loudest. He's quite a quiet person, but he's backed himself, and he's taken the opportunity with both arms. So fair play to Nick.
25 off 16, the equation. 181 for 8, only 2 wickets in hand. Aspinwall runs in from the city end to bowl to Potts, who's repeated the shot, but slightly more comfortably. It goes over Michael Jones. Michael Jones have got 8 off the over already. I know they have
What
to
are they going to do, Dave? What do they need to do now? They've already got 8.
Take singles,
The
Greg.
run rate is at 9, 10s. You know,
Take the singles. Absolutely.
it's black and white, these numbers, not like my stats. This is concrete, black and white.
That's proper. Proper.
They're already up to the run rate now. The run rate's at 8.4, so they've already won this over.
20.
Anything else is a bonus.
21 off 15. I mean, that isn't...
You hit a 6 and it's a run of ball near enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't hit a 6, though. That's not what we want them to do. Well, we do. 21 off 15.
There's a boundary. It's one boundary to get them to a run of ball. That's what they've got to think. If Nick Potts does this, they'll build a statue of him in the car park.
With his moustache, rather than without, I fancy. But the ball has now been retrieved by Michael Jones at long last. It will be taken into consideration. The cut-off time is 10 to 10, which means you'll probably have to hear reaction to this game in Sports Scene tomorrow evening. With Colin Gibson as Aspinwall bowls, and that one is pushed into the leg side by Potts. They're thinking about 2. They are going to come back for 2, and the ball isn't picked up cleanly by the fielder running in from the boundary, who is Jack Blatherwick. And they move on to 187 for 8, 19 off 14.
It's a 4. Near enough a 4 to bridge that difference now.
It's the kind of equation that Yorkshire did quite comfortably. Oh, it's a full toss, and he's hit it. Now, was it above waist high? If it was, he might get away with it. Oh, he's got away with it anyway. It's landed in no man's land. Now they're deciding whether they should take the second, and the fielder who'd allowed it to land, or saw it land in front of him, can't field it cleanly, and they pick up 2. Blimey. Potts moved on to 23, 17 off 13, 189 for 8.
Who's bowling the last 2 overs for you, Dave?
Hartley and Anderson, aren't they? Or Blatherwick, I suppose. I don't know. I've got no idea. It doesn't matter. This one's guided to backward point. They put pressure on the fielder, who is Tom Hartley, and they get through for a single. Nick Potts keeps the strike, which could be important. Sophie McKean is yet to face a ball. Nick Potts has 24 off 15, and from the final 2 overs, Derbyshire will require 16 runs. 16 off 12. The Worm, which has been a long way in front of Lancashire, has just joined the Lancashire Worm on the screen, and that's largely because we saw the 21 run over from Ben Aitchison, didn't we, at the same stage with 2 overs to go. Lancashire were they weren't. They were 193 for 5. Derbyshire 190 for 8, and it's James Anderson, of course it is. 190 for 8. Anderson on his way into bowl to Nick Potts, who gets a short, slower ball, and it's through the shot too quickly, and it goes through to the wicketkeeper. This is the pivotal over, really, isn't it? Because Derbyshire need to get it down to 10.
I think as well what they need to realise is don't panic. Even if it's it's Sir James Anderson. Even if they have a quiet over, get 4 or 5 singles, take it to the last, because whoever's going to bowl the last is not as experienced as James Anderson.
Bowls now, and he strikes Nick Potts somewhere on the body, and the ball is fielded by Anderson himself. If he bowls a maiden over here, that puts Derbyshire into all sorts of trouble.
But they've given themselves a chance, that's the thing, Dave, and they don't. Usually the saying is never take it to the last over, but I think in this situation, when you've got one of the greatest bowlers in our generation, in our lifetime, I think you need to respect that.
No, I think you're absolutely right. We've got long on and long off out. Just clip it into the leg side if you can. There's a couple of runs there every time. Anderson bowls and he goes for another swing and he misses. Nick Potts, it's 3 dot balls to begin the over. It's 16 off 9. This has been a terrific over from James Anderson, as you would expect. 3.5 overs, 2 for 16. And he's almost single-handedly steering Lancashire to victory here in Derby. He turns at the top of his mark. Floodlights taking full effect now, and he bowls to Nick Potts, who's launched this out into the leg side. The fielder doesn't see it properly initially and drops the catch. And they've only gone for a single. You run the first one hard. If he drops it, you get back for a second. It's only a single. It's another drop from Moores, who's taken an absolute blinder and dropped 2 fairly straightforward ones, but it's not a good seeing ground. In fairness to him, I don't think he picked it up at all to start with. And now Sophia McKean, who's been out there for what seems like forever, is going to face his first ball, with Derbyshire requiring 15 off 8.
Look, these 2 balls now are token balls for him. Potts is the main man now. Potts needs to be their last over of the match. 2
wickets and 2 balls, and Derbyshire have gone. McKean pulls it into the leg side. They've run the first one quite quickly, but they'll only get one. As in off the boundary comes Jack Blatherwick. It's 14 off 7. 2 a ball, and Derbyshire get over the line. Anything less, and they don't.
The most important thing is Nick Potts is off strike, and he's facing the last over of the match. He needs to get off strike here.
He needs a single here, doesn't he? Or 3.
Yeah.
I think we'll go for the single as Anderson bowls. Potts pulls it into the leg side. He's going to get 1. Out towards deep backward square leg. It's 193 for 8. What an over that was from James Anderson, conceding just 3 runs. And Derbyshire, well, it's fairly straightforward now. They need 13 off the final over. And who's going to bowl it? It looks as though it's Blatherwick. To me, it is Jack Blatherwick, who's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 25. I wonder if Lancashire thought they wouldn't have to get this far.
The thing is for Derbyshire now, Nick Potts is on strike. I can't believe I'm saying this. I wouldn't have thinking I was saying this at the start of the campaign here, but he's done really well here.
Absolutely.
He's used his brain here. He needed to be facing these next 6 balls.
It's a high score in T20 cricket of 35. Sophia McKean's, and that's in 9 matches, He's so inexperienced at T20 cricket, it's not true. Sufyan Makeem has played 59 T20 matches and he's got a high score of 10.
But the thing is now, you look at Anderson, you look at his experience, you've got out of that over now, it's Blatherwick now. Blatherwick is not as experienced as James Anderson. He will have a couple of loose balls in him in this over.
31st T20 match for Jack Blatherwick, taking his wickets at 25 and a half. He's in now to bowl to Nick Potts, who's got 4 runs off the edge, 1 bounce, 4 down the third man, 9 off 5.
But the thing is, the most important thing is he's still there at the end. This is the thing, and this is why Derbyshire losing wickets after wickets. All they need to do is just take it to the last couple of overs. Somebody who's played a handful of games is showing a bit of intelligence, a bit of nous to give Derbyshire the best possible chance of winning a must-win game.
They need 9 off 5.
With one more four.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's it.
Blatherwick on his way in, bowls to Potts, who's swung and missed it, hits his pad, slower ball. He's not really good at picking up the slower ball. Nick Potts, he's not a batter.
I think it's difficult as well with the light as well, and the
Yeah.
intensity and the
That's right.
adrenaline and everything like that.
Well, I'm struggling. The lights, not the brightest here at Derby. That will all change next season. I believe they might have been given the go-ahead to check on that at another time. Here's Blatherwick in to bowl to Nick Potts, who lifts this into the air. I think this is going to land safe. They should run 2 here. It is going to land safe, and they do indeed come back for the second. Potts moves on to 32. It's 199 for 8, and it's now 7 runs to win off 3 deliveries. We saw a similar scenario against Durham when Matthew Montgomery was out in the middle and couldn't get it over the line.
It was a no ball. Potts bowled a no ball, didn't he? And it was a dot ball.
What a memory. That's why you're here. We'll have to wait until 10 to 10. But I knew at some point. It's always good to have Greg Cork alongside. 199 for 8, 7 off 3. An absolute thriller here at Derby. As Blatherwick, you could hear a pin drop. Blatherwick bowls, and he's going to be caught by James Anderson. He is. Nick Potts goes for 32. 198 for 9 now, Derbyshire. Anderson with a simple catch. And with that, I would suggest Derbyshire are going to lose this game. They need 7 to win. And they have 2 balls left.
You just never know, though. At least they've given themselves a chance here.
Yes. I wish I could.
Javed hits a 6 here.
Well,
Hopefully it's not another tie.
199 for 9. I beg your pardon, not 100.
We need Gazantha at this point, don't we?
Yes.
Gazantha's good for a couple of 6s.
7 runs, 2 balls. The equation's simple. Both go to the boundary. Derbyshire win. 1 doesn't, and it's almost. Well, it's very unlikely that they get across the line, and it's another glorious defeat for Derbyshire in a season of glorious defeats. Here comes Blatherwick in to bowl, down the leg side, wide. Now then, that changes things slightly. 6 off 2. That does change things a little bit. Yeah, all right. 200 up for Derbyshire is not something to celebrate. It's another score of 200, but 200s in losing causes are neither here nor there. 2 4s, or a 4 and a 2 now, and of course 6 off 2. Blatherwick in to bowl to Javed, who pushes this one down the ground. He's only going to get 1. He's going to leave it to McKean to hit a 6 or a 4 to tie. Oh, not another one. 4 to tie, 6 to win. Last ball coming up. Sufyan Makeem, what have you got? We will soon find out. I can tell you that in T20 cricket, Sufyan Makeem has never hit a 6. He's hit 6 4s, He's also hit 3 fours in T20 internationals. That won't be enough.
Could hit a 6 here. This is it.
Could.
This is his one and only.
Yeah. He's hit 3 list A6s, 2 in first-class cricket and 1 in a one-day international. Sufyan McKean. Can he be the Derbyshire hero? This one is not going to go for 6. It's not going to go for 4. It goes for 1. Is he run out? He is run out. And Derbyshire finish on 201 all out and lose by 4 runs to Lancashire to effectively end their T20 Blast campaign. Wayne Madsen told us after Chesterfield's tie that they were playing knockout cricket from here on in. If you don't win in knockout cricket, you're knocked out. And that's pretty much what's happened to Derbyshire here this evening. A magnificent 88 off 37 from Nyron Donald, 46 off 29 from Ross Whiteley. And Nick Potts with that 32 runs towards the end of the innings gave them hope. But in a season of so many near misses and glorious failures, Derbyshire have yet another one here at the county ground. They've been bowled out by Lancashire for 201 and lose this one by 4 runs.
And that's exactly what it is, Greg Cork, isn't it? It's just close, but just not good enough at the end of the entire summer, really. When you reflect on every Blast defeat for Derbyshire, it has reeked of the exact same thing.
It just seems like they can't get it out of their blueprint ultimately. It's happened season upon season and I think this season has been extremely positive, and it seems like they've taken it right to the end, but still they haven't got that experience in the middle to late orders to get it over the line, really. And Mickey Arthur will be extremely frustrated because it seems like, you know, there's a lot of things that need to go Derbyshire's way to even give them a chance of qualifying.
You were talking about the approach and possibly just the game management of this one. And did they leave it too late to start thinking like that? Because Nick Potts clearly put that on the agenda and started playing some really smart cricket, but was it too late at that point?
Absolutely. Somebody like Nick Potts, he's played a handful of games, but he's shown the more experienced players how to go about it, take it deep as possible, win the over. You don't need to keep on going. Donald does that, that's fine. Whiteley can do that, but everybody else play your way. You don't need to play the same way as Donald or a Whiteley. It's like it's like, oh, our captain does it at the top of the order, I'm going to do exactly the same. No, you play your way, but give the team the best possible chance of getting over the line, which they haven't done, and they haven't done it at all this season.
They certainly weren't helped by losing Martin Anderson for 0, Yusuf Benaim for 1, Wayne Madsen for 8 and Matthew Montgomery for 2 at the top of the order. It puts an awful lot of pressure onto Nyron Donald's shoulders. He did magnificently well to make his 88, but then Amrit Basra goes cheaply, and all of a sudden everything's on, and I mean everything is on Ross Whiteley's shoulders then. You need more than 2 players to show up in a batting innings if you're chasing down in excess of 200. And I know Nick Potts showed up towards the end, but I'm talking about the actual batters rather than the bowlers who can bat.
And that's what we saw on Sunday in terms of Derbyshire's batting. The middle order actually produced some good numbers, and they backed up Donald when he wasn't quite hitting the highs. He hits 88 tonight, a career best in T20 for him. And you just need the others to supplement that, Greg, and they just couldn't